All my life, I've been waiting for you. All this time, I've been looking for you. All my life, I've been waiting for you. All this time, I've been looking for you. All I've been waiting for you. All this time, I've been looking for you. All my life, waiting for you, waiting for you. All this time, I've been looking for you. All my life, I've been waiting for you. All this time, I've been looking for you. All my life, I've been waiting for you. All this time, I've been looking for you. All my life, I've been waiting for you. All this
Make some noise for Dan! What is up? Oh, no way. Like, my webcam, if you saw my Discord server, my webcam I said was broken, and then it actually started working. But as soon as the stream started, it broke. Of course. Oh my gosh. What the heck? Okay, we're having that. Luckily, I have a backup. I have my phone camera. Because 2 seconds into the stream, and already we're having problems. Big up the Den stream, guys. Big up the Den stream. Alright, I'm fixing this in like 2 seconds. Hold on. Need to do a okay. There am I. Oh no, I'm frozen. Why is it bugging? It's bugging. It's clapped, guys. It's clapped. What is going on? It's so clapped. GG. Wait. Oh my gosh, thank you for the follow. Guys, hold on. I need to say hi to you all. Like, the stream is so clapped. It's so clapped, guys. It's Jover. GG. GG. It's over. Okay. We're fine. It's so clapped. It's so clapped. Oh my gosh. Wait. Let me, like, put something. Thank you. Guys, what up to Sonus? What up to Gasper? YYQRCA. What's good? Aaron. Strong. Isol. Papa Corthico. When is the OF dropping? You're banned. Just joking. No one's ever banned when I say that. Brahman. What is good? Toxkun Kai. What is good? Arsenic. What is good? Brian. My goodness. Blape. Hello. Joseph. Katie. Zeno. Exalos. Oh, so many people in here. What is up, everybody? Did I expect to pass limbs? I did. Hold on. Image. Add existing. Guys. Allow me, guys. Hold on. What is this? Oh, This is so clapped. This is actually like the most clapped. Guys, do you see anybody else's? This is unique to my streams. No one's streams are this clapped. No, I have not used. This looks so ugly. Dan feet cam win. You know what? Should I just leave it like this with a frozen? Okay, maybe not. No, hold on. Image thing. What is it? Oh, of course. This is so ego. I'm not doing this. Oh, it's clapped, guys. It's so clapped. Oh, background here. There you go. This is what I want. Actually, I can do this. And then put this at the very bottom. At the back. Oh, no, not there. There you go. Or wait, I could have just done this. Wait. I could have just did this. Oh, it's so clapped. Look at it's the square ratio. Wait. Can I change it? I can actually change it here. Wait. I can change it, guys. I think. No. Settings. No. What does this do? No, that's not what that does. Is Jover. Okay, whatever. This is what the best we're getting, guys. What is up to everybody? Chopped stream. Bro, it's cooked. But we're here. We're here. And you know what? Because 38 people are watching. Holy moly. Also, Tewa Toasty, what is good? My goodness. I'm sorry if I mismessaged. Cringy gamers. Oh my gosh. Just up your band, Sonus. Stop poking. Okay, guys. Let's do this again. Welcome. Welcome back to the stream. See that, guys? I made that for you. Literally right before the stream, I was making that intro for you, guys. That's the 2025 intro, Dan version, right there. What do you guys think? It sounds better than the original, huh? Okay, anyways. If you guys have any questions about GBB, I'm open to answering all of them. 100% honest, okay? Ethereal intro, bro. Thank you. What's my take on King and Ursh not passing? I think he should have passed. We could also make a list here because I didn't actually make a list. Maybe I won't even make a list here, but we can talk about people who I think had high chances of passing, and you know, people who had low chances of passing, and like maybe passing, and maybe who shouldn't have passed. Rankings I disagree with, but yeah. Hello, Dan. I love you. Marry me. Sorry, I'm taken. New intro better than the OG. Thank you. How much money do you really think SBS made from one pay-per-view? I don't know. The harmonies actually go hard on that remix. Yeah, shout out Orbit. Those are the Orbit harmonies. Haven't heard anything about this GBB this year. Oh, well, spoilers up ahead, guys. There's going to be tons of spoilers about the GBB. Do I think Napalm should have been out? Yeah, I think Napalm lost that battle. Napalm messed up against Black. Bronny, what is up, bro? Dan was the air in the venue cold or something? Like, is it just me or dry mouths has been happening often in this year's GBB? Dry mouth always happens. When you're on GBB, the biggest stage in the beatboxing community, right? Also, guys, excuse me, I'm also going to be eating while talking because I got some food and I did a poll on my Discord and you guys said I was okay with eating. But yeah, so you're at GBB, biggest beatbox thing in the world. Okay, you just qualified, right? It's your first time. If it's not your first, regardless, okay, a lot of pressures on you. You're nervous. And if you've ever performed before, especially as a beatboxer, right before you get on the stage, and then when you're performing, your mouth will always become drier than usual. That's like if you're slightly nervous, it's just gonna happen. There's no way of avoiding it. So you have to find ways to kind of like, like take like 1 second break and like swallow or something, or like drink like water or whatever like helps salivate your mouth or something. But dry mouth always happens. And the air, yes, I would say it was cold, but I mean it was like a normal amount of dry. Like the usually on stage the air is a lot drier because like the lights and smoke machine and crap like that. There wasn't less smoke I think this year. Anyways, but it wasn't as bad as 2021 where I think they had the doors open and we're letting cold dry air in. But yeah, dry mouth, if that answers your question, always happens. Will I still come back? Will I still come back last year even if I've achieved something great, solo/producer? Possibly. How excited am I for the new BPL casual beatbox fan base to get to my wing battle to 10 million? I'm so excited, bro, guys. I passed the limbs. Also, guys, that was my goal. So let's go. After 4 years, I finally passed the limbs. Should have done You Can't Not Like This. Maybe I should have. Can we first glaze Martin Benetti? Yes! Martin Benetti went absolutely dummy. This guy is crazy. I've never heard a looper like him ever before. What was the best solo tag loop round? Best solo round. In my opinion, it was Wing's second round versus me. When he did it, I was geeking out, guys. Like, he's like doing like the like he was whispering. It was like some tribal beat, and it went so hard, and I was like geeking out inside. But I was battling him, so I had to like compose my aura and be like, well, that's all right, Tag beat was Hiss and Wing, like that bot, like super. Oh my gosh, I'll talk about it. I have notes, guys. I've written down notes of what I actually want to be talking about at GBB. What's up, Axbox? Is this Den, my aura farming goat, finally using heavy sounds to prove people wrong? Yes, it is. I can stop your mouth from ever drying up, Den. Thank you, awkward Japanese kid. Also, hey, I Toasty with the 2 USD. Thank you. Keep making incredible music. Thank you so much, Hey Toasty. Also, guys, check out Hey Toasty. This guy dropped a music video. It's absolutely beautiful from what I've seen on the Instagram promo. If you have my permission, bro, I'll react to it on stream eventually. But I don't know. I haven't done a reaction stream in so long, so I don't know when that will come out, or if I even will react to it because I might watch it off stream. But anyways, guys, check out Hey Toasty's new song. It is actually lit. It's so awesome. CJ, what is good? Hello. Big up CJ, guys. Oh my gosh. Too, like, everyone's here. MH? Congrats. Thank you so much, man. Okay. Now that we have a bunch of people here, let's talk about some of the big things that I did want to talk about. What should I talk about first? I would love to see reaction. All right. There you go. Here, I have my notes here, guys. Hold on, wait. How do I? Guys, it's clapped. How do I move this? Here. Shoot, hold on. It's clapped already. There you go. I'm moving everything. Okay, let's talk about the solo rankings. Mason D, what is good? Solo rankings. Okay, let's talk about the solo rankings first. Any questions you guys have on that? Because I think the top 8 was pretty solid. I don't have anything against it. I do think Remix and Inertia could have gotten in. I think Osis should have placed lower, and I don't know about Codfish making it in or not. That's just my opinion, right? Also, this year the top 8 was crazy. Like, I know I after I performed and did my limb, I was like, wow. Like I was really happy with my performance. I was like, okay, I'm really confident, making it to top 8. And then other people started going, I was like, oh my gosh, people are so good this year. I don't even know if I'm gonna. I got seventh, right? So, but still, yeah. I remember when I first saw my Beatbox International shout out and seeing you battle in the Mad Twins competition. Oh, OG fan right there. Mad Meal too. My aura against Wing was immaculate, by the way. Hank. Oh my god, you're Hank. What's up, bro? Thank you. But yeah, Codfish. I mean, I personally wouldn't have ranked him top 8. I think, he was becoming a little too repetitive. Like, I think the start was amazing. It's like that super good like track. It was Oceana Wildcard. Like that one was so good. And I feel like towards the end he just kind of spammed like lip roll a little too much, And yeah, I just feel like that main thing was kind of like the downfall of why I don't think he should have passed the limbs. Top 7, top 8 just made it and had remix over Codfish. Also, the thing is with remix though, I would put Inertia. I would say Inertia deserved top 8 more than remix. Also, when I say deserve, I don't mean like everyone deserves top 8. It's just the performance that they gave. I think remixes was very like linear. Like he started off with like his heavy lip roll. I'm like, okay, well, if you start off that strong, it's gonna be hard to like keep that energy up for 4 minutes, right? Which, unfortunately, just like it was like this the whole time. Ballsy ranked Codfish number 2. Did he really? I don't know what the judges' rankings are. I only know what one of them is. Eating fried everything with you and the American dives in Tokyo is now canon event. Yeah, man. I had a great time. Trung Bao voted for me versus Wing. That is correct. Japanese only, sorry. Gomenasai and arigatou gozaimasu. Sorry, that's all I know. I remember seeing my limb and on the stream and immediately thinking this is easily Den's best performance in the GP. Thank you. Nariko, what's good, bro? I personally, I don't think he should have been placed that higher either. Also, yeah, with the solo rankings, it was a little weird because I do think it was what is it? How is it? It was. I can agree, like where, why you would put a certain beatboxer, that rank. It's just, it's super inconsistent, for the things, for the, what is it called? It's super inconsistent for like, I guess what criteria you're ranking them off of, right? Here, like, well, let's talk about. Oh, it's clapped, guys. It is clapped. Where is my other camera? This one. I'm gonna copy this and then put this guy above my dude over here, and then I'm gonna put it. Yeah, guys, excuse the clapped cam, but we're just gonna have to deal with it. Whoops. There you go. I'll just do like, there you go. That's fine. And my Google Chrome. There it is. Okay. There's the rankings. You had Codfish 12th. The solo rankings were a lot more consistent this year. Not as bad as Alexandria getting second this year. That's true. I agree. There's just some people, I think the rankings were just a little weird. But, yeah. Also, guys, I think I'm maybe not the most credible, but I have a really good amount of credibility, and I'm saying this with a bit of ego. As a, obviously I've only passed the limbs once, but I've participated in the solo category 4 years in a row. So I feel like I have some credibility to kind of say, what goes where. And, yeah, anyways. Okay, so, I don't really care about well, I mean, I do care, but, I don't, what is it? I don't want to look at this. I want to look at the individual judge rankings, which for me is a little weird, right? Wing get panic against you. That's why he start DNB, his only joker in his style. I low-key think that too, Maxbox. Most people had the same 10 people in their top 8. That's fair. Okay, so I think we can all agree Kaji was easily, like, he was, like, like Kaji was up here. He was alone in the first place rank. Like his elim was so entertaining. Despite you like, I don't really like hardstyle that much, but despite if you like that genre or not, you gotta admit he made the super entertaining elim, super high energy throughout the entire time, and it was loud, and it was meant to be loud because he's doing hard style, which has to be loud, and it's so entertaining. Like the thing at the beginning, like like that was so cool. Like you could literally close your eyes and then picture like what is going on when Kaji was beatboxing. So that's why I would put him easily first place, Yeah. Anyways, thoughts on the GBB intro this year? This is my thoughts. Yeah, so in the GBB intro, the only thing I heard at the beginning was my this. That's the only thing I heard. And I heard some things from other people. What's up, bro? Kaji was a effing rock star, bro. This is nuts. Yes, I agree, Biscuit. I agree. Yes, and the rapid spitzer thing. Anyways, okay. So if this is the ranking, right? So let's try to justify. Okay, we're talking about Judge 1. You can't even see my mouse. Oh, whatever. Okay, but let's try to justify whoever this is. Okay. So Codfish here is second, right? Now, what do I say? So, let's try to like figure out why this judge ranked Codfish second. Maybe he ranked him for like originality, like this guy pioneered like the like that style. He pioneered that. That's him. Super original. Yeah. So that's why you would put Codfish up here, right? So why would you put Black Roll fifth? Why would you put Napalm sixth? If you ranked Codfish this high with that performance that he gave, Napalm should also be up here. If that is what this judge is kind of like, the criteria is all over the place. And maybe you could say like, oh yeah, he's playing like to their strengths, but Codfish didn't play his strength that well. Nor did Napalm. I agree, he should be like over here. Black Girl played his strengths really well, so he should probably be higher wing. But it's just like weird things like that. Also, Dropical 11th. If Codfish is second, Dropical, unfortunately, I think he should be last because he got really dry mouth, unfortunately, and it happens. I've been there, bro. But yeah, I would have put him last. But yeah, like that's just like the like what is this inconsistent thing, right? And the same thing with like I didn't hear studies, but I heard he was good. He told me he didn't really make that much mistakes. Yeah. Anyways. Yeah, I don't know. Some of these like Dropical ones were like a little too high. I would have put Pono a bit higher. I feel like his energy was a bit higher compared to like Dropical. Like Dropical over Steady and Pono, I heavily disagree with, unfortunately. Yeah. But I believe actually kind of pioneered that tech. But yeah. Oh, well, there you go. There you go. Biscuit just, guys. Yeah, that's it. Like, I don't really know. Like this, there are some inconsistencies, but like the top 8 was pretty solid. Not gonna lie. Like, and yeah, maybe I am biased saying that, but like, I think the top 8 was pretty solid. Yeah, bro, Big Man is so underrated. Do you think he could win a wild card with his window track? Maybe. I don't know. The thing is, guys, after so many years of like beatboxing and like making wild cards and joining GBB, I don't know what the judges want anymore. Like I genuinely don't know how beatbox judging, like what criteria they base things off of, right? Because it's always different from what I expect them to like. It's really weird. Like I don't understand it anymore. But yeah, okay. I don't want to talk about this unless you guys have like any more questions. I was in the Stitch stream earlier this morning, and a lot of people had questions about the sound at GBP, and I think, guys, okay, not to sound, yes, to sound egotistical. Listen to me, guys, okay? I have the best opinion about the sound at GBB, okay? I know because I've been to 2021 where the sound was really good. 2020, the monitors weren't good, but 2023 had the best sound on stage and off stage in the crowd, okay? 2024, dry AF sound, drier than the Sahara Desert, and then 2025 sound, it was better, but it was still a little bit dry, okay? That's kind of a TLDR of like all the sound at GBB. And then if you have any questions, because I know Stitch was talking about a bunch of other beatboxers, like, okay, why was this guy quieter? Like, let's talk about Codfish, actually. Hey, Dan, what do you think about Remix and Inertia not in the top 8? I think Inertia should have made it top 8, Maybe I'd replace Codfish with him. And then Remix, I don't think I think he had a very small chance of making it into top 8. I just think his elim was kind of like this. It was like super high, he started off so strong, and it was so hard to like make, because he like as soon as he started like fully cupped, hitting all the subs, massive lip roll, how do you go higher than that, right? So that's just my thing. It was very linear, and it's very unfortunate, but that's just how it happens. Remix said Petchin ranked him 3rd, and Ballsy ranked 7. Like, he just threw it out there. He would still make top 8 notes, so someone had to have ranked him, like, really low. Like who? Remix. 11th, yeah. Oh, there, the 3rd. What the heck? I didn't even see that when I... 10th. 12th. Interesting. So this is Pechinkata? I could see this list, to be honest. This is also a solid list, but I would put Inertia over Codfish. Anyways, so if we're talking about the sound, right? So a lot of people, I think on Stitch's stream, was talking about like, oh, Codfish isn't as loud as usual, right? Like, why is he not as loud as like in his Looperama video? You know why he wasn't as loud? Well, it's because of this whole big change of sound that they did from 2023 to 2024, okay? Pac-Max is overrated? I don't think he is. Hey, yo, Dan, you did great, honestly. Thank you, Xenopain. Appreciate that. Okay, so, Codfish, like, I think he's a solid beatboxer, and a lot of people are like, oh, he's quieter than you. Like, I don't think he's, like, the loudest beatboxer. Like, guys, you can, like, if you're pro enough, okay, I'm gonna sound so cocky here, but if you're good enough, like, have a good, not good enough at beatboxing, if you're good enough at listening, which a lot of beatboxers suck at listening, okay, they don't know how to use their ears, but if you're good enough at listening, right, you can tell, even from a video, okay, how like, you can have a good enough idea how they're gonna sound like on stage, and especially on a GBB stage where like the big sounds, like, I like to call it big sound, like, the super big sub bassy sounds, that really matters. So like, versus like this versus and versus, right? Those are all like this is like Momimaru or Bobbly, okay? And then this was like me back then, okay? Suck poo poo garbage kick. And then this is like the that's like the black roll kick, just all pressure, and then you have the all bassy kick. That's like the Joulard kick, a lot of power and then also a lot of bass and subs, okay? And on the GBB stage, subs really matter, okay? And also, especially the Japanese crowd, they just love, if you hit a fat lip roll, they're like, oh, right? Nothing wrong with that, lip rolls are cool. Pac-Mac's whole sound library is made for live battles. True. Pac-Max is so overrated, we all know it was rigged if he won. Look, I personally, okay, I'll get to it, but just to just say it here now, So the battle was super close. I think it was it was even closer than Napalm versus River. But for me personally, I think Pac Max took it by like that much. You know. Then you need 4-minute rounds, and you will. Thank you, man. But okay, so yeah. What was I saying? Codfish. Yeah. Like guys, you know, I'm gonna go straight to just talking about the sound. Okay. I'm just gonna tell you sound in general, and I'm not gonna talk about any beatboxers. And if you have any questions about like beatboxers, just feel free. And if I miss questions, guys, just spam it in the chat. Free space. You can all spam. Yo, would you join the new category studio competition? Pretty fire. I don't like the studio competition. I think that sounds a little whack. I like battling. Okay, I like the art of battling. I'm gonna talk about that too, right after the sound. Okay, so sound, guys. Okay. Where are my notes? Gotta look at your notes, buddy. Type beat. Where are my notes? How the freak do I get my notes back? And I just closed everything. I can't see anything. Okay. Anyways, okay. I just have the notes here. Unfortunately, you guys can't see it. But, why am I lagging? I don't know people hating on Pac Max Devi Reserved. GBB's rigged argument is so cringe. I don't think it's cringed. I think it's a valid argument. I think you could say anything is rigged, and you know. Also, because like, no. Oh my god, I thought I froze. Like, if you're saying things are rigged, you can say that, guys. Okay, because you're saying like, oh, don't say it's rigged. Like, do not glaze the judges, guys. Okay, I don't like when people glaze judges and like, yeah, the judges are like so much better than you. They have so much more experience. Like, no, like, have you seen these past 4 GBBs? Their decisions. It's been the most inconsistent, disgusting thing I've ever seen ever. Okay, so don't glaze judges, guys. Do not glaze the judges. Okay. Don't glaze judges. Okay, they are very experienced, and I do agree that. And a lot of the time, their opinion. Why am I lagging so much? But a lot of the time, their opinion is, you know, valid. But don't glaze the judges. Okay, do not glaze the judges. There's legend bias for real. Korean people were going nuts on the chat after Win got second. Damn. Best food I had in Japan. I couldn't really put up best food. It was all good. It was all good. Anyways, okay. So the sound, right? The sound, it was still dry. And you know why the sound was dry? It's because the change that was made from GBB 2023 to GBB 2024, in that they made a new rule that they're gonna go for a more raw sound in the, I guess, maybe in the solo category and also the tag team category, right? They're gonna go for a more raw sound, so it's more fair, quote unquote, to everyone else, right? And yeah, so everyone has an even playing field. There's no compression EQ that like helps you sound better. You're all on your own, right? Just your raw sound, right? Yeah. But I'm like losing my train of thought, guys. Even though I wrote this down, I'm still me, and you know how it'd be. I'm gonna just go off everywhere into a million side tangents. What are the different things and factors that you changed or you adjusted in making or delivering your limb that made you get through? Okay, yeah, this is actually a good thing I can add as to things aside. So the fact that the sound is a lot more raw and dry sounding at GBB, you have to resort to only using like, you have to almost like dumb down your style. Like if you have like a style like me or Wing, even Napalm, right? Like you're only like those huge sounds are only limited to like the really big subby sounds and like the super loud sounds. Like, so if you're like Black Roll or something. So for me, the only things that are like super loud are like my inward bass, like in the higher register. So like like that is like super loud. The kick that where you use a lot of air, right? Or obviously lip rolls, super loud. But even anything after that, like That's not gonna be as loud. Not gonna be as loud. You know, you're literally you're stuck to only using a couple sounds that hit hard on the stage, right? But yeah, so basically I just had to dumb down a lot of things and then just like use more kicks instead of like I would go right. I learned that from Wing. I don't know anything about the technical parts of sound at events like that, but for me as a regular listen, sound quality was so trash that I didn't have fun watching this GBB. How does good EQing make it unfair for anyone? Also, hi, what's up, MH? Here, I'm gonna get to that. I feel like the sound on GBB is still stale AF, not gonna lie. Yes, it is, and the reason is there's no compression, no limiters, and no limiter means that everything's gonna clip, right? Like things like that. That's gonna clip. Like things are just gonna be clipping. I remember at sound check, like when we had to use the DPA microphone initially. Wings vibration bass was clipping. Codfish's singing was clipping. It was crazy. So we ended up switching to a Shure SM58, which is kind of whack at GBB. Like really, that's one of the driest sounding mics for beatboxing. But I guess it responds well to like super loud sounds. So like the really loud beatboxers, you know, it's easier to control the clipping, right? But the thing is, like, you can't blame the sound guy because I'm pretty sure he's playing off the rules of Swiss Beatbox. Because, you know, they're like, okay, make it sound as good as possible, but don't use any compression and don't use any limiting. What more is he going to do from like, you know, the rules, right? Because it has to be fair, right? I think my stream video is delayed from your audio. You're banned, Arsenic. I know that. You're not banned. I'm sorry. That was really mean. I apologize, Arsenic. I'm sorry. That was really mean. SM58 is yucky. Flat top supremacy, for real. Wing versus Dan, I think it was I don't know. I was really happy with my performance. I made a little bit of mistakes, but overall, I was very happy with my performance. Maybe I can restart the camera. No, I'm not gonna do that because I'm gonna lose my train of thought. But the sound. Okay, look. Here is my thing on the sound at GBB. So the whole reason they came up with this rule of no compression and no limiting is because they think that if you do have compression and, you know, limiting on your sound at GBB, right? They think that it puts the louder beatboxers at a disadvantage because, you know, let's say, oh, this quieter beatboxer can beatbox, you know, at a quieter volume and still sound as loud as the loud beatboxer. And, you know, he didn't train as much to be loud versus this guy, you know. Like, his effort for training to be loud should be rewarded, right? And I agree with all of that. Loudness is good, guys, okay? And loudness is, and like there was they said something in our GBB group chat, something like loudness is an asset to your style, just like special sounds and special combos and things like that. Loudness, and I agree. But saying that having a more raw sound, you know, makes it more fair, or not that, saying that having compression and limiting gives louder, or makes loud, I suck at talking, guys, I'm sorry, but makes louder beatboxers at a disadvantage is just not true. It is not true at all. There are so many examples of previous GBBs where the sound was amazing, they had compression, limiters, where the louder, more battle-style beatboxer beat the more quiet beatboxer. Yet the sound is still good because, you know, you want nice full sound. You don't want raw, ugly, dry, poo-poo sound, you know? Right? Also, 110 viewers, let's go. Like, that's just not the truth. I have so many examples, like Shogo versus Batako, right? I assume all the previous GBBs had some sort of compression and limiters on them, okay? Shogo versus Batako. Shogo is like more laid back style, and Batako is like hard hitting, you know, bam, 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 bam. And same thing with Codfish, you know, right? Like, Okay, maybe at Codfish, this is a little different, but Choco versus Batico, right? The louder beatboxer still won. Whoa. Was he at a disadvantage because there was compression and limiting? No. Wing versus Napalm. Napalm won. The louder beatboxer. Whoa, who would have guessed? And there was compression and limiting. In the under 18 in GBB 2023. Who won the whole thing? Julard. Oh, what? The louder beatboxer is not at a disadvantage when there's like the GBB 2023 sound was amazing, okay? And then them using the argument, oh yeah, the quieter beatboxers are, they don't have to train as hard and they're going to be at the same volume as a loud beatboxer. It's just not true. It's legit the fact. It's not true. Like, look at Wing versus Napalm, okay? I think this is a good example because that battle is like really nice. Wing, has the quality, he sounds still nice and full, nice and wet sounding. It's not dry and ugly sounding, and it's beautiful, and he's playing to his strengths and enhancing his style. But still, Napalm's loudness, you can hear his loudness. Julard, you could still feel his power with compression and limiting. With compression and limiting, you still feel the power of powerful beatboxers. They still sound loud AF. You're on the bottom screen. Look at me. Some guy on Twitter posted a screenshot of Codfish with a different mic for everyone. For some, okay, look, and like if there was compression and limiting, I still think the top 8 would have been really similar. Okay, I think it would still be really similar because it just doesn't put loud beatboxers. The loud beatboxers still sound really loud and really good, and if you have a limiter, it doesn't clip the speakers. Wow, and clipping, I don't like clipping. No one likes clipping. And then, they're saying at soundcheck, oh yeah, clipping, right? You got to control your clipping. But I know the judges, like as soon as you start clipping the speakers, the judges are going to be like geeking out like, oh my God, he's so powerful. He's clipping the speakers. What the heck? Like, bro, even if there was a limiter and he's not clipping the speakers, you should, like, they even have IEMs, like in-ear monitors, they have headphones on, they should, like, they're more experienced than me. They should know that a kick just is like, it's gonna sound loud, It's gonna sound loud. Wing is one of the louder beatboxers in GBB. Well, he's very efficient when it comes to his loudness. He uses like the really loud sounds, and I think he has a really good mic take. And Colby Cheeser with the 10 USD. Let's go. Big up. You gotta big up Colby. I apologize if this is negative. As a fan, it sucks so many top beatboxers don't compete after they win. Collapse, D-Lo, Footbox, G, River. It waters down the content and the meaning of being GBB champ. I don't think so. But I do think that when some of them come back, like for example, Napalm, like, he came back, Alexinho came back, it kind of pushes the new generation to kind of like, match, the level of greatness that these veteran beatboxers have. So I think it's a good thing, to be honest. 10 USD, that's like 100 Canadian dollars. For real. Solo was great this year, but loops were the highlight, bro. That was crazy. For real. I didn't see much of the loop battles, but from what the couple battles I saw, I think loop was one of the best things this year. Did you Osis try too hard in terms of complexity? I really rooted for him this year. It's sad to see him leave that early against Pac-Max. I think he was very freestyle. His structure was all over the place compared to Pac-Max, and Pac-Max's strength and loudness kind of like, took it. Loud, impactful sound placement over loud all the time. True. It's not just about who's louder. Pac-Max wasn't louder than Kaji. Yeah, he won. Okay. River's back, though. You think he'll win GBB 26? I don't even know if he will compete next year. I don't know. Okay, so with this whole, like, loudness thing, that's the thing. Is like, I feel like when you listen to somebody on camera, if you're pro enough, you should be able to tell, like, oh, this guy probably sounds really loud on mic. Like, when I heard Ice's wild card, I knew, like, okay, this guy is probably really loud. I think it's harder when you, like, put so much compression where it almost distorts the sound, and then it is harder to tell if this guy sounds good live or not. But yeah. Do I think Dice is overrated because mistake in semifinal? I didn't watch that battle. If GBB's first prize was like 100K, we would all see them every year. True. Maybe it's the money thing. I would love to see D'Lo on the scene someday. He would destroy everyone 5-0, not even close. You never know. The thing is, like, this whole dry sound is changing the meta for the beatbox community. I'm going to get to that next. And I think, you know, beatboxers like Collapse, River, and D'Lo, I think they would lose to, like, the Joulards, the Black Rolls, and the Pac-Max. Maybe, like, you know, first round. If they don't have really good battle strategy, you know? And that's what Wing did against Black Roll. And if not, the way beatbox judging has been, guys, I'm saying it right here. D'Lo's, Rivers, Collapses. Like, look at Napalm. I mean, Napalm did make like, quite a big mistake. But, like, you know those guys? They're getting clapped against, like, the Joulards, the Black Rolls, and the Pac-Maxes, you know? That's just how it is. Because with the dry sound meta, all these cool sounds that you're hearing from Collapse and River and, you know, D'Lo, that's not going to come through, you know? I already 100% know. It's going to be, like... And, yeah, there are some sounds and, like, energy things that they can... But, like... maybe D'Lo has like some really loud sounds, but you know, you kind of get my point. I guess what I'm trying to say is that the meta, unfortunately, from GBB 2024, you know, that dry sound where Joulard like popped off, and like when I was also at the 7 to Smoke a Limb, so many of the Japanese beatboxers sounded like Joulard. It was crazy. Now, no disrespect to the Japanese community, you know, that's just what. You know, that's just the winner. So everyone's aspiring to be the GBB champ, and that's what made him win. So, you know, that's what people are gonna aspire to be, and they're gonna want their style to be, you know, to be like that, right? D'Lo, yes, D'Lo is built urban, okay, but I don't think it's like people are like glazing him too hard that he's gonna get like in this meta. You never know, okay? Because the judges are so inconsistent. We never know anymore. I actually never know anymore. Like, it's actually crazy. Doing the most intricate combos and creative special sounds, how about do a click roll? Yes, exactly. That's why I told you, you have to dumb down to the sound system. And now here brings me to my next point. And I didn't even eat or drink water. Water and food break. Hold on. Oh, water's good. Excuse me. Finally, some deep fried food. Yes, people using the click roll meta in the big 25. 2-5. Yo, what's up, Bomba-chan? Why are they going with that direction for sound? Do I know? Yeah, so they're doing that because they think it's more fair, right? Now, I'm not glazing him. I was glazing Codfish too much for a long time, but not D'Lo. D'Lo is defending himself. Interesting. Well, I mean, I still think D'Lo is a super strong competitor, even nowadays. Yeah, Justin, you should just judge everything. Codfish versus Dan Huan. I don't know. Could be anyone. Yeah, I don't know what judges want these days. But here brings me to my next point. Oh my gosh! Victini, thank you for becoming a member. Let's go. I think where did I? Oh yeah. So here is why I think having a more raw sound on the stage does not progress the community. I talked about this with Pono a good bit too, and I talked about it to Peponi as well. But I don't think this like more dry sound progresses the community, and here's why. Because if you look at Joulard, now Joulard, no hate towards this guy. This guy is insane, bro. Like he has some really cool combos. It's just that a lot of his drops relied on like the teeth roll, click roll, just like huge giga mega sound. And it worked, okay? It won him GBB 2024. And, you know, as, you know, a whole year has gone by, it's given me a lot of time to kind of think about, like what my real true thoughts about, GBB 2024 was. Thank you for the member, Nariko. But yeah, I don't think it progresses the community, because look at this way. If you have more raw sound to be fairer to loud beatboxers, which just isn't true, like having because if you have this more raw sound, honestly, what it doesn't make it fair. It actually puts the more intricate beatboxers who put so much time and craft into their creativity and special combos and special sounds, it puts them at such a disadvantage compared to the guys who only work on just power. It's not fair. It's not fair. Having compression and limiting actually makes it more fair, because both it's like then all the criterias are kind of weighed more evenly. With this raw sound, the meta just becomes that the criteria is so heavily weighed on, are your sounds coming out on the system? Are you adapting to the system, And yeah, I did have to adapt to the system for my limb. I literally prepared my limb for the sound to be like dog water. And I mean, it was better than 2024, but it was still pretty dry. But luckily, I prepared for that. So, that's why my sounds were coming out on the stage, right? And here's why I don't think it progresses the community, because if you look at the sound at GBB 2024 versus the sound at GBB 2023, you have beatboxers like Ice, bro. He sounded amazing on GBB in GBB 2023, and in GBB 2024, he sounded okay. He sounded decent, and the only thing that was coming out was his right, and everything else was kind of mid-level, I mean, he's still a really loud beatboxer, but it didn't sound as full and complete as 2023, and I feel like if he pushed any of those sounds any harder, he would lose the quality and cleanliness that he has, that makes him Ice, right? Abo Ice. Same thing with Wing, right? Versus, compare Wing sound, how he sounded in 2023 versus how he sounded at 2024. 2024 was the driest thing ever. It was the most disgusting dry sound I've ever heard in my life. So what that does, and it doesn't progress the community, because it forces beatboxers to only use those really big subby sounds. Literally, if you look at the really loud beatboxers, they literally primarily in the drops use and right, those big punchy snares. That's literally all you have to resort to, and maybe some other loud filler sounds, and the structure of it all becomes the same, because it's a clickable drop, and then you put in your one unique sound, towards the end of my limb, I knew I had to do something giga punchy, because people like that. That's just the meta now, which is kind of pissing me off and cheesing me. But it's I had to do the I had to do that instead of and then big sounds like that. I have to resort to using those sounds, because those are the only sounds that are going to come out on stage, because it's more fair. So what about all the people who put in time and effort into sounding as clean, and as Wing, he sounds really clean and loud, but on a more raw sound system, he is at such a disadvantage to the loud beatboxer. And it just doesn't progress the community, because then the community, they're oh man, I have this really cool sound, and I have it, I have my sound quality to the level of Ice, his sound quality and loudness, but I can't use it on the stage because it's not coming out, so I have to only use it just doesn't progress the community at all. And that brings me to my next point when it comes to battling and more battle style beatboxers and things like that. I'll get to that. Let me answer a bunch of questions. What's up, KBA? For most of our participants, it's pretty clear they're willing to sacrifice the quality of power, and it got a bit much at times this year. Very true, KBA. Also, what is up? Big up, KBA. And it had nothing to do with the venue. Yes, it had nothing to do with the venue. The venue had they just had to play by the rules of Swiss Beatbox. like, oh, okay, make it sound as good as possible, but yeah, just use very minimal compression and don't put a limiter. Oh, but it's clipping. You know, how are we gonna make it not clip? We just have to turn everything slightly down. Like, oh, sorry, well, we can't use that's part of the rules in the contract. So, you know, but when it does, but it does when you're not loud enough and start clipping the speakers. Osis was a surprising outlier. He managed to get in without resorting to too much on the power. I think he had like really cool combos that were very Osis like. I think just the structure was his weakest point in his elimination. Did Pac-Max deserve it? I think he did. You think the medal will change, especially because we're back in Poland now, which of course make a difference? The only thing that will make a change is in the sound, guys. It's the sound that is the biggest change. It's not the venue. It's not the crowd. It's the sound. It's literally the sound, okay? If you, make the sound more full and more wet sounding and not dry sounding. Like, dry sound does not equal fair sounds. And dry sounds, I'm telling you guys, it does not progress the community and things like that. And that brings me to, like, you know, with like battling and stuff, you know, it's like when you have this more raw sound, battling literally, like I told you, the loudness becomes such a heavily weighed criteria when you have this raw sound, because that's the only sounds that are coming out are the really sub-bassy loud sounds, right? And holy crap, I have 130, 140 people. Hello to everybody. Thank you so much for joining on the stream. Hit that like button if you're enjoying it. But yeah, we're just giving honest thoughts about this year's GBB, and I really love this year's GBB. I'm just ranting about the sound because I'm really passionate about, like, just I love watching battles, being in battles, participating in battles. I love GBB and beatboxing, and I just want to see the community progress. And I think this raw sound, you know, no compression, no limiting, I think it's going to actually regress the community, and it's not going to push the community to evolve even further. Because when it comes to battling, right, people, like, if you have this more raw sound, all it becomes is literally a power, it becomes literally like a battle of loudness. And you have to really play your strategy smart in order to win against a loud beatboxer. For example, you know, Wing versus Blackroll. He had to literally pull out Dopamine, his giga viral hit, so the crowd went crazy when he had right? Like, and then the crowd would go just because, you know, they know the song so much, right? But if he didn't pull that out, he probably would have lost to Blackroll, right? And that's the thing with, like, these, like, with this whole raw sound. And it forces people to use these sounds. It doesn't progress the community because, like, then battles, like, battling guys, like, think of it this way. If battling, like, these guys, I also read a bunch of the comments, like, oh, this guy, you know, he's not using any of the loud sounds. He's, you know, he's not using, right? He's not using any of those big sounds. Oh, it's not the battle style. Like, okay, then what do you consider a battle, bro? Like, what is a battle in beatboxing to you? Is it literally like, I want to battle you? Right? Is that what a battle is to you? And that's cool, okay? That there's nothing, like, wrong with that. But if that's the only thing, like, if I were to translate that to a rap battle, it would be like, like if this was a rap battle, right? You know, this would be like, it would be like, okay, here's my rap battle against my opponent. You're trash, and you're trash, you're trash, and you're trash. All right, switch the next time. Oh yeah, let me counter you. You're giga trash. You're giga trash. You are giga trash. Like, that's what raw sound is if I were to translate it into, like, a rap battle. Like, it becomes so linear and so one-dimensional. What happened to the multi-layered counters? We're like, oh shoot, I see what he's trying to do. Like, okay, it's kind of coming back. Okay, it was coming back a little bit. Like, for example, River versus Inertia at the 7 to Smoke. River did a beat in 7. Okay, and he didn't do the cringe, you know, like. He didn't do that, like, thing. He just did a really good beat in 7 against Inertia, and if you look at that, that is a counter. That is a battle move, and there's multi-layers to it because Inertia battled a French guy in the GBB 2021, and that French guy was LM who did a, oh, do you know the 7? And then River, like, he was doing a really 6-7 beat. It's like, oh, do you understand? That's a battle move. What? The art of battling? There's multiple layers. It's not just about who's louder. That's the art of battling. Is an art, guys. If you do this raw sound meta, battling just becomes a sport. It literally just becomes a sport now. It just becomes a sport of who's louder. Like, that's just true, okay? That's literally how it be, okay? Yeah, I think. Why are you guys? Did I say 6-7? Oh my gosh. The quality and the beat should come first and foremost. Yeah. Like, guys, like, who did I think was going to win GBB? I don't know. Maybe Wing or Napalm or something, but I was wrong. Pac-Max proved me wrong. And Dan, stop coping and just do Twisted Fate live. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, and here's the thing too. It's like, even if I had like really good compression and really good sound, like Twisted Fate, like the like that, like, because I'm using, and also my bass, the like, it's not, I'm not doing, like the inertia, like, with a lot of diaphragm, like that just doesn't have as much sub. So even on a good sound system, it wouldn't sound like super like full. Like maybe on like a super giga compressed sound system, but that is where it becomes unfair, right? But I still, like, I'll at least have more options than right? I'm just saying that, like, a lot of the battles this year were really good, and they weren't, maybe in the top 8 they were kind of like, favored the more louder beatboxers, but the only reason I'm like kind of like giving this big rant is just I believe the future of battles is gonna go down. Maybe, what, and maybe I'm just like I'm the odd one out here. I'm the black sheep, because a lot of people, they love the loud click roll stuff, and if you like that, that's fine. That's your cup of tea. I just think it's so one dimensional, and I think it's not gonna progress the community at all. Because it's just gonna, it's just gonna become very one-dimensional linear battling. I just want to say your inward to high sound is so damn consistent now on stage. Thank you, man. Thank you. You think the audience affect the meta? No, not trying to be racist, but we can see a huge difference in terms of reactions hype between the Polish and Japanese. Again, I don't know. I thought it did affect something in the future, but I don't know. Judging is so inconsistent now. Like, I'd never know sometimes who wins. But I do think, like, the crowd, you also have to know, like, what the crowd likes, because, also I came up, when I came up with my limb, I knew the Japanese crowd, they just love really loud bassy sounds, and the way you set up something for the Japanese crowd, right, is you have to almost strip it down, your beat, to make it super simple, and you have to literally spoon feed your ideas to the Japanese crowd and be like, okay, here's an idea, and then let me give you a lot of space so you can appreciate this idea, and you're like, oh, whoa, whoa, and then keep the energy up, and then hit them with a fat lip roll, click roll, Like, for example, like when I did my limb, I've been waiting for it. Right? Just like nice melody. Bring the energy up by doing loud sound, and then I'll put in my signature sound and like, whoa, like, and my sound like that, my isn't like the loudest sound, but then I hit them with a fat lip roll and they're like, oh my gosh, right? But yeah, you think crowd bias helped Codfish get into top 8? Honestly, I don't remember how the crowd, because I was like stressing for my limb side stage for when Codfish was doing his limb. But Codfish, I think like the start of his limb was really good. But yeah, but whoa, the thing is, like, again, like it doesn't progress the community, because it's like like I'm pretty sure like it's 2025. I'm pretty sure, give or take, I'm gonna say at least 30% of the crowd can hit a really fat sub lip roll on the stage. You know, so I don't understand. I guess it's like a big sound, it's very grand. Sure, that's fair, but I just don't understand how it's 2025 and some guy like if you like. I think when I did my limb, I'm a little biased here, right? I set it up nicely and then hit like a really fat lip roll. But like sometimes people literally just do a like giga loud sound and people are just like, what the heck, with like no context. You know, but also I could also be kind of proving myself wrong, because in remixes Ilim, it was all super loud and subby like the entire way through, and he didn't pass Ilim. So yeah. You think Wings fanboys are toxic? I didn't really see the chat, and yeah, I don't know. Who do I want to see come back next year? I'm not sure. I'm just feeling really inspired after this GBB. Also, yeah, after that rank, guys, people are probably gonna clip this out of context. I don't really care, but I should have maybe started off with this. I think this GBB this year was a great GBB. Okay, I left it feeling so inspired. I loved like every single artist. At the GBB, they were very inspiring. Loops, tags, solos, right? I was super. The crew battles, I was very like inspired compared to last year. Like 2024, I left that GBB feeling uninspired. I was like, dang, maybe I don't want to beatbox anymore. But this year, like, I am proud to call myself a beatboxer after this GBB, because it was a really nice. Also, thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the $1. Also, thank you, Victini, for the 1,500 Japanese yen. Thank you for your great beatboxing long journey. I'm really glad to see your battle in GBB Tokyo. I wish I could one in a million people who support you from Japan. Have a nice weekend. Thank you so much. Arigatou gozaimasu. Like, literally, the Japanese guys. Okay, if you are Japanese, and let me slow my English down to the non-English speakers, but maybe some Japanese guy can translate that. Anyways, but to all the Japanese community at GBB, like, thank you so much, because you guys are like super wholesome and like supportive, and like, yeah, like, it's just really nice to meet you guys. Everyone is so nice. So yeah, just super wholesome, and like, big thank you, big ups to Japan. Like, yeah. Loop Station feels like it keeps going up. Yeah, Loop Station was crazy. Wing got insanely more famous this year. Comments on his battle is going to be fun. Yeah, I agree. I think we need incentive, variety, and creative counters. If things continue like they are now, Loop will become the main category. This year's Loop was insane. For real. I agree. Bro, I felt so bad when Wing cried getting second place. Yeah, that was a big emotional moment. Best Judge Showcase? Well, I didn't watch a lot of them, but the one I did watch was the Dilo Showcase, and that was crazy. I think that was one of the best showcases. Like, that's up there with, like, River and 2H showcases. The Dilo Showcase was up there. It was really nice. People saying it sucked and it was rigged are just ungrateful. Like bums watching professional sports saying the players suck. Yeah, like this year's GBB, guys. I don't know what you guys are like. It was a good GBB. It may not be like 2021 or 2023, but it was a good GBB. Okay, be grateful for, especially from what you guys got last year. When Wing vs. Den, easy 1 million views. I know. Oh shoot! Oh my gosh, Trollic, I'm so sorry. Yes, you're Dono. How did Remix? I'm so sorry, bro. How did Remix sound live? He sounded really good. Like, compared to last year, like this year's sound was, was a lot better. Like his like his whatever that is, like that was coming out, which was really good. And that's my thing was, it sounded really loud and punchy, but the thing is, it sounded super loud and punchy like the entire way through. There was like no dynamic in volume, Like, he literally, I don't know if, but I just remember, I'm pretty sure he started off his limb with like one of the first big sounds he used was like his sub bass lip roll, which is kind of louder than his inward bass, just by this much, you know. His inward bass is still super loud, but I just felt like that, you know, like if you start off like that high, you have to like really, really maintain the energy. Like for example, like Wally in 2023, when he started off his limb like you start off with like that huge, like everyone's like, what the heck? But that was like that's like your first 10 seconds, you know, like what are you supposed to do after that? You gotta take your time. You gotta take your time, and with 4 minutes especially. But yeah, if that answers your question, Trolek. Bro, not gonna lie, I had you fourth in limbs. Thank you, man. You said the exact same thing on my stream. I said a bunch of things in the past 2 minutes, KBA. Sorry. So it's probably the chat delay, and it's also me just like spitting out every single thought, no filter, just that what comes into my comes from my brain. I feel like some people do let nostalgia cloud their judgment of GBB. Thank you for the sub, big up, bro. Thank you, man. Some people they went back and watched some of the 19 and 21. Actual level of beatbox has improved notably since then. It has. Like there's like so many more like louder beatboxers who are just like crazy loud, and they've trained to be like that loud, you know. Yeah, I think it's improved in some ways, and you know, yeah. Then it's gonna farm all the clout from the winged opening fans after battling him. True, I gotta release a song on like the day my battle comes out, so like, you know. Regarding remixes, Limb. Oh, okay. Sound system hated remix. Remix robbed. The sound system did not hate remix. I don't think so. Also, yeah, someone said, I think on Stitch's stream, he was talking about remixes stream on Stitch's stream, and now we're talking about it on my stream. Whoa. But someone said something like the sound, or did he say the sound didn't fair? Because I think he sounded amazing. I told him too at soundcheck, like, bro, like you're sounding really good, you know. And I think all his sounds were coming out. You know, he was clean, powerful. It's just that I feel like, you know, the dynamic of like the way he used the 4 minutes, that was the biggest weakness in his limb. You know, Mike SD with the member. Big up, let's go. Thank you, man. I'm so happy that you passed the limb. Thank you, man. Thank you. Cha. I'm really happy I passed the limbs as well. And I'm really happy because it was like, bro, this is my 4th year. There's a bunch of people wanting me to pass the limbs. If I don't pass the limbs, I'm just a disappointment, you know. But yeah. Am I the only one who still think Collapse clears 95% of GBB winners? I think he can. The thing is, he needs to, like, a lot of people are really good at, like, you know, thinking on the spot now. And I don't think Collapse, you know, he doesn't have like the crazy volume. And that's the thing. If the meta keeps going the same way, the volume beatboxers are going to be what inspires the new generation. And they're not going to inspire to be like, you know, the Rivers and the Collapses, the Napalms, the D-Lows, right? Right? I'm not saying that being loud is a bad thing to be inspired by, but, you know, if that's like the biggest thing that, you know, they're judging in battles, unfortunately, it's going to regress the community. Am I happy about my limb? I am very happy with my limb. Why did Pono rank as low as he did? I don't know, man. It's rigged. I think it was rigged. I think Dropical should have ranked lower than Pono, just because of it was a very, like, the execution thing was such a obvious weakness in his limb. You know, his execution, especially towards the end, which I think would have, you know, I would have put very low. Nothing against Dropical. He started off very strong. Yeah. I agree with almost every other decision in GBB. I thought Hiss and Wing should have won. Ah, perfect. We can get onto that. I think the tags, Hiss and Wing should have won. Then about to drop an album to use the Wing Battles Plus. For real. Does being loud considered to be a better beatboxer? Because it does feel like it for Julard's case in GBB 2024. For Julard, he, like, in 2024, you know, Julard does have some really cool beats, and I think he uses the loudness to his advantage on that stage. It's just, yeah, there were all, like, some counters in GBB 2024 just, like, didn't make sense to me. Like, Osis doing, like, a really fancy clicker beat, and then Helium just going, like, yes, it's louder and big, like, but come on, it's, like, bro, you know. And then, but yeah, I think with this raw sound meta, that's just, people are going to think if you're louder, you're better. Yeah, Wing and Hiss. Also, guys, big up to everybody in the stream. I'm missing so many messages. I'm not used to having this many viewers, but thank you. So if I miss a message, just spam it, guys. Feel free to. It's a hot take. Steady ranked too low. I agree. I think Tropical should have ranked below Steady and Pono. Remix said that D-Lo told him that the judges couldn't hear the details in his elim with their sound. I mean, how? I mean, I guess the sound is a little different from when they were where they were standing, but I thought I could hear it. Yeah, get your ears checked, judges. They're gonna release the 7 to Smoke. Couldn't watch your stuff there. I know you had a rematch with Inertia. I did. I didn't do the best, but I didn't even expect to pass the 7 to Smoke elims, but I did. Yeah, the whole like GBB Legends like All-Star Fantasy Battle thing coming back, I think it's really cool. Yeah, KI's in the elim was too good not to be in. I agree. And hard sell. Thank you. I am happy. I am happy, guys. Also, holy moly, these messages. Your elim was classmate. I'm gonna slowly start heading out, but I remember telling you that this had to be the year for you, and I'm happy. But thank you, KVA. Appreciate it, man. Didn't Julard freestyle like half his rounds? Yeah, that's a strength. That's cool. That's really cool. That's a big battle move. And also, but here's the thing too. It's like with battle moves, like you as a judge should also know that like for example, when Osis did like oh yeah, it's easy. Or so what did Osis say? I don't know. He did something like that. I think he did say like it's easy, bro. And then Julard picks up the mic and he's like, yeah, like it's easy. Like I told this in past streams, but bro, you just proved Osis's point right. Like Osis was calling you out that your beats are easy. That's a battle move, and then he does it. Yeah, it's louder, but you just you played yourself. But the judges, I don't think they saw that. They were just like, oh, loud sound. Oh, loud sound. Anyways. It's easy, bruv. What is that? What else? that came out wrong. But yeah, Hiss and Wing, I think should have won, because I think a big criteria in tag team. Yes, battle moves are a big thing, but I think a big thing in tag team, in my opinion, is blending, and especially also in crew. But I think Mac's skill didn't blend as well as Hiss and Wing, and like yeah, they had like a really cool like and they did the beatbox's magic thing, like that was really cool. But then Hiss and Wing on their second round just do the most boss gangster beat I've ever heard. I was in the crowd, guys. I was in the crowd. There's like he's like it's like okay, he's like it's like this is like some like boss beat and like building up and like Hiss with the fart. I was like, bro, it is slapping so hard. It was like the most gangster boss slow tempo slap in the face. I was like, for sure they won, and then they didn't win. I was like, what? Rigged, Hissing Wing was too perfect live. I agree. Yeah, Martin Benatti. Excuse me, guys, but his first round against Nils. Oh my goodness, I was gooning in the crowd. It was crazy. It was crazy. Big up Martin Benatti. Like I was like, perfect voice. He's not using the Mark II auto tune. Perfect voice. Like and like, oh my gosh, bro, what are you doing? And then he does like the jazzy chorus, and he's like stuttering like bep, 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 bep. I was like, what? I was like how? GBB25 proves GBB is not for musical beatboxers. Well, the sound was a lot better than 2024. I'm just saying, I had this whole big rant of like raw sound. It's just like it puts the louder beatboxers at such a bigger advantage, I think if the sound was like, how it was in 2023, I think Wing would have won against Pac Max. You're playing that in my car today. It's fire. It is. Gooning is crazy. Oh shoot. Oh my gosh. Martin's first round against yeah. I remember Chris Solis saying years ago that tag team is all about trying to compliment your partner, making them sound better, and I feel Hiss and Wing really embody that. True. Facts. Excuse me. Thank you for the follow. Papa John's versus Pizza Hut. We don't really have much Papa John's here in Canada, so Pizza Hut. It's 4:30 a.m. for me. I should go to sleep, but F it. Let's watch a dead line. Thank you. Hey, but if you are very tired, feel free. Go ahead and sleep. I'm not holding you back, but I do super appreciate you being here, man. Thank you. Why does GBB only let top 8 through solo limbs? You could do top 16 or top 12 with the first 4th getting a bye. I think they both have their benefits. I think that having a top 8 kind of like, how do I say this? Having a top 8 really puts so much pressure on like your elimination, because like you really want to pass, because half of you are getting cut out, right? And you know, if you do have a top 16, I think the disadvantage of the advantage of that is, you know, everybody gets to battle, but the disadvantage is that, like, you know, you're gonna have people who are just like not gonna try in their limb. They're just gonna absolutely smoke, like they're gonna just like flop their limb so that they seed low. Maybe that's a battle strategy they have, you know. Which, you know, could be a good thing, but it could be a bad thing. But you know, having a top 8 really forces the beatboxers to like really work on like a really well fleshed out 4-minute elimination. Yeah. GBB26 has a dedicated showcase category. Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know if I like that, in my opinion. When you mentioned earlier about future generations of beatboxers being influenced by the current loud and new school insane tech type beatboxers, does that mean the musicality of beatboxing is dying? I think in a way, yeah. Like I completely understand, like, you know, doing a slow beat. Like for me, like I did Moments I Had first beat against Wing. It's like a slower, it's not a battle beat, you know. I understand that, you know, battle beats are more like high tempo, a lot more like louder punchy sounds. That makes sense, right? But I think to kind of answer your question about how they're influenced by the more like loud, you know, because there was the loud punchy beatboxers, because those are the guys who are winning. I think it's like they're winning because of the raw sound, you know. It's like, again, like the art of battling. Battling mainly becomes a sport now. Who is louder, right? Like the whole, I guess, the musicality, if we're not only talking about melody, but like musicality of everything, right? Your drums and creativity and like how you structure your routine and how you incorporate that into a battle, you know, I think that would die out if we continued with this raw sound meta. Because here, guys, here's another example of a beatbox counter that had layers to it. One of my favorite battles ever, Napalm, River versus Napalm, right? Hear me out. This is how you do multi-layer counters. River starts off the battle with the most beautiful Gene-esque musical round. It's not a battle round at all, but you know, he does like a really beautiful battle round. Now, what would you expect Napalm to do after River just did a really beautiful, you know, beat and everything? Napalm, literal god. What would you expect him to do when Scott Jackson's like, switch? Nah, man, what are you, Gene musical? I want to battle. That's what you expect him to do, right? But what does Napalm do? He counters River's musicality with musicality. Multi-layers to battling. Battling is an art, right? But people are too small-brained to see that, guys. Okay? People are too small-brained. Guys, okay, please listen to me. What I'm telling you, the battling scene is going to change, and not for the better, okay? I may not be the best beatboxer, okay? I'm not D-Lo, I'm not Collapse, I'm not River or Napalm. I'm not the best skilled beatboxer, but I You know what? I'm gonna be a little cocky. I think I have one of the biggest brains in the beatbox community. Okay, I think I have one of the smartest brains in the community. So many beatboxers have the tiniest, smoothest brains. I'm sorry. That was actually rude. I apologize. Oh my gosh. Musicality versus musicality. Den just gooned after this statement. Well, yeah, it's just like you countered it with musicality, and then he does put battle elements like, you know, right, and like big bow, like, you know, and then, and like, you know, like really getting in his face, like big loud sound, but it's still so musical. Right? It's not just like a loud sound placed out of nowhere. It's so like... And also, to glaze Napalm a little bit. Napalm has one of the best sounding lip rolls. He has the most control over it. Every time people do lip roll, they just try to make it as loud as possible. Napalm, no one can control a lip roll like Napalm. Nobody. Nobody can, bro. He is like the best at lip rolls, okay? That's just how it is. End of GBB is 90% sad. Jesus due to strange mood to share music. True. I agree, man. I'm heading out, Dan. I love you, man. Enjoy the rest of you. Thank you, Arsenic Beatbox. Appreciate. Yeah. I agree. Napalm should have won. Are you talking about against River? Because I think Napalm flopped his beat at the end against River, and I don't think Napalm should have won against Black Roll. Yeah. You're the one of the best composers in the scene for sure. Thank you. Clip that, please. Counters don't mean much if they're not the same quality or better than what you're countering. Yeah, if you're doing like just a direct rebuttal of like you're trying to counter them, right? But like, I think even then, if you're just doing the exact beat, you know, and you're not adding to it, it's still kind of like a one-dimensional counter. You can, or maybe, okay, we're talking about counters, right? Those are like rebuttals. But, I guess battle moves, right? Because the whole art of battling, and, you know, I'm going to go back to it, like, you know, if you have this raw sound, it forces people to define battling as counters only. And you're going to counter, you have to counter him with a louder sound, more like complex, bigger sound. Counter, rebuttal, counter, right? That's all that it's focused on. Versus like, you know, having these extra hidden layers to battle moves. And, you know, as the judge, you should be quite educated and know, you know, a good amount of things in the beatbox community. Like, let's say he like disses somebody in beatboxing format, you know, like there was like some beef or drama and he uses like a beat that's like controversial or something, like, you know, I'm just like saying, like, I'm just like spitting out a hypothetical situation here, but like then as a judge, like, oh shoot, I get what he's trying to do. It's like the rap battle, right? And you have multiple bars, you know, that have multiple meanings instead of like, all right, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, I'm a rapper, and here's my battle against you. You're trash. You're trash. You're trash. You're trash. Time. Switch. Oh yeah? Here's my counter. You're super trash. You're super trash. You're super trash. And you're super trash. You know? I said that. I did this twice already, but, you know, for the people who just joined in, that's my analogy of one-dimensional battles. You make like 90% of intros in your GB wildcards, you're allowed to be cocky. Oh, thank you. I don't want to say ego, but it's actually kind of true. Damn, he called out how we all have smooth brains. Media training failed. He's canceled. Hi, Dan. Will I make YouTube music? I will. Battlers are small brain. Is there a delay? There's a delay in my camera. It's bugging. I'm sorry. My camera's broke. I need to get a new webcam, so I'm using my phone cam. Thoughts on a limbs? I think limbs are amazing. I did my limb. I was like, okay, I have a really solid chance at passing. And then I saw everyone else's limbs, and I was like, oh my goodness. There's so, like, Pac Max did his limb. I was like, bro, that was so good. Wing did his limb so good. Kaji did his limb. I was like, okay, this guy's 100% in, like, first place easy, right? And I was like, oh my goodness, like, these guys are so good. Like, what the heck? These limbs are so amazing. Do I even have a chance getting in? You know, I was like stressing. Am I going back to Silk Song or a new game after this? Good question. I don't know. I'll update. Excuse me. On the Discord. What Napalm said was funny though, but yeah, Napalm. I think he messed up or something, and that just like ruined the flow. Unfortunately. Pitch it without vocals. What sound? This is probably stupid, but why can't everyone have their own personal sound audio settings that fit their style the best? I think that's like that comes down to the whole fairness thing, where it's like, beatboxers, or like, everyone has to be on the same playing field, right? And I talked about that, with the whole compression thing, and I think if you have compression and limiting, that is actually the most even playing field versus raw, like having a more raw sound. I think having a more raw sound, it's actually less of an even playing field. The louder beatboxers are actually, at such a bigger advantage compared to like the ones who don't rely on loudness for their style, right? But yeah, the personal EQ thing, I think that is unfair. Does that mean Napalm automatically won the battle point against River? If you're talking about the battle, not really. It's just like I'm just using that as an example, as like, a multi-layered battle element, right? I'm a monster. I remember that. Why did you think Pac-Max going? You already countered this, and Wing doing a Wing style liberal, Wing countering it anyway. I don't remember. I have to rewatch the final. I just remember in the moment, the only thing, the final, it was slightly underwhelming because I think Pac-Max and Wing both used all their greatest rounds in the thing, and also that's the whole thing with the finals, is it's so hard to make the finals interesting because people have heard all your material in the previous battles, and you have to still keep the energy up in the finals. But yeah, because Wing did his beat against me, like right, like that one, and then he did like the dopamine beat against Black Roll. So like I think those were like his two strongest beats, and he didn't have much left. And then Pac-Max, had his like it's like his pat box, like the baile funk routine. But musicality should play a bigger role in the judging for real. I think, yeah, musicality, it should play a bigger role, but I don't think that much, because yeah, again, it's still a battle, and I agree with like people saying that it's still a battle. You want that like big battle energy, but you can I guess, yeah, if you counter somebody with musicality, then that should also be weighed the same as, if that's what you mean, Fushada, if that's what you mean. But I agree with you. It should be weighed, the same as loudness. The one-dimensional battle song, for real. How am I gonna counter Kaji's untoppable? Look, Kaji's 10 times. That was one of the best moments of the event. He's like, Tokyo. Oh, 1,000 times speed. That was awesome. That was just so Kaji, bro. That was like, the 10 times speed was like the best thing of everything. Oh my gosh. But Space, yeah, I answered this before, but I think Pac-Max won by like that much. And that was in the moment. I have to rewatch the battle to really see like who won. But I remember like Wing, I think he did like a like he did that beat. I think on the better sound system it would have like hit really hard, but it didn't hit that hard. And then Pac-Max also was just doing his Pac-Max things. But also, yeah, I'm happy for both of them. But I'm also really happy for Pac-Max. Because, like, yeah, I think he deserves the win. And I think Pac-Max is, like... So I saw some people saying, like, Pac-Max is just another Joulard, but I disagree. I think Pac-Max is one of the most musical, loud beatboxers out there. Like, he uses his loudness, similar to Kaji. Maybe not as much style as Kaji, because Kaji has, like, the most unique style. But Pac-Max uses his loudness to his advantage, like, in a really good way. In a really musical way. Kaji was legit entertainment every battle. Yeah, like, bro, Kaji's so cool when it comes to battling. I know the 10 times speed is gonna be like a meme forever. It's so awesome. Dan, that is a massive amount. Yeah, what's up, Halo? More personalized lyrics for their opponents, not just I control the entire room. Yeah, for real. Wing's voice sounded fried by the end. Did it really? I don't remember that. I got a translation of Wing's last speech, but not for Kaji's last speech. Interesting. Did I hear a remix of Lim? I did hear remixes of Lim. Pac-Max is way more complex compared to Joulard. I think Joulard's drums are way more complex than Pac-Max, but I think Pac-Max's structure and musicality is way more complex than Joulard. Now, Hiss and Wing both technically have 2 second places at GBB. Yeah, that's so right, because Hiss at v Napalm. Am I gonna compete in 2026? Undecided right now. Dan, am I part Filipino because you look awfully a lot like one of my friends? Yes, I am not part. I'm 100% Filipino. 100% Filipino. Eating break. In a general battle, I think Pac-Max can beat Julard. I can see that. Yeah. He's more battle experience. Yeah. Julard has, he does have really good counters. Like, against Alexinho, like, I think, like, that was, like, one of the more, like, viral moments. Like, he countered Alexinho's, like, click roll beat with, it was, like, see, the loudness there, that, he used the loudness to his advantage in a really good, smart way. It was louder, more complex. It's like, and like, it was like, what the heck? Everyone was like popping crazy, and then he like keeps the energy up by going into another beat. That's really good use of loudness. That is a very good use of loudness. But going, it's easy, after your opponent called your beat easy, and then you proving his point, that's not using your loudness to your advantage. Love you, Kawabayan. You too, my guy. We need me in producer. I freaking love my 2025 follow card. Thank you, man. Or like the studio. I don't know, guys. I'm not a fan of the studio category, but producer I might do. Oh, it's a non-existent category. Never mind. Den mukbang over yes, weed mukbang. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Appreciate that. Guys, making that was really fun. D'Lo and Wing now have something in common. Both were second in solo and tag team. Yes, true. Do you think Wing is GOAT? I think, yeah, I think I put him up there, GOAT status. Just joined the chat, so I don't know if you already talked about this, but what were your opinions about Loop Station? I unfortunately didn't get to watch many of the Loop Stations because I was stressing backstage because it was literally right before my battle with Wing. But from what I saw, the Loops battles were insane. Like Martin Benatti, Dice going crazy. Even Nils, he didn't have the battle energy, but like his sets was beautiful. Who else? I've been seeing like the Yes Swede clip of him just like flexing. Of that is like the most aura. Like that was like the craziest thing like ever. Like this guy just goes up and he's like, like posing on the stage, and he's just like letting his music, like, oh, and the camera, he's just like this guy's massive back, At least Den isn't eating some weird ish like fish with bananas. That sounds something so Filipino. Isn't Philippines the wealthiest country in the world? Largest amounts of gold? I've never heard that before. Yeah, Swede has so much aura. For real, bro. This guy was like, I mean, that's crazy. But, yeah. Opinions on Martin Benatti. Bro, Martin Benatti, I've never heard a looper. I've never heard a looper like that ever in my life. Like, he just blew my mind. Yeah, I would agree. He could be one of the GOATs, Martin Benatti. Came to this GBB most excited for solos, but then came out of it blown away by loops. Yeah. Wing is literally a celebrity in South Korea, so the fact that he still has to come to GBB shows his love to beatbox. True. Also, I realized that there was the crew battles, guys. Crew battles all happened on day one, and the crew battles were so entertaining. Orbit was so good. The beatbox house, oh my gosh. Like, I was fanboying so hard within all their beats, because all their beats on Instagram are so cool. And then Orbit doing "Lovers don't feel the same again," and then I was like, oh my god! I was like geeking out in the crowd. I was like, bro, they're doing it. I'm going like, this was so crazy, And then Beatbox House, doing like their beatbox tutorial round, and like, everybody go. Everybody go everybody go and then they did the I was like, no way. I was going crazy for that. Martin is a professional drummer, by the way. I saw that on the story. I was like, no wonder. It makes sense. You thought Orbit beat Beatbox House? I don't think so. I think Orbit did amazing. Sorry, excuse me guys for talking with my mouth full. I think the Beatbox House had better blending than Orbit. Especially Orbit, I think, had better melodic blending with their harmonies. But when it came to the drops, there were some parts, like some of the basses were a little too loud, too quiet, drums too loud, too quiet, and like weird sounds that they had in their drops were too loud and too quiet. But the Beatbox House, again, I'm gonna glaze Napalm a little bit. Yeah, Napalm was hitting some fat lip rolls. Also, the sound wasn't the best for Crew, which is unfortunate. Hopefully, they fix it for the videos. But you can see Napalm controlling the volume of his lip roll because he's actually listening, guys. Listen, use your ears. Ears is important, right? Anyways, no, but I think the drops for like Beatbox House and their blending was so good. Like Amit's rapping, like Taco rapping was good. Like I think Taco, their two rap styles are very different, but like just like the way that he carried. Oh my gosh, like I was geeking out over Beatbox House. It's crazy. Kenny Urban is a legend. True. This guy was like, Tokyo, have you ever had a dream, but they told you no? It's like a dancer, a sumo wrestler. I was like, he said that, I was like dying. I was like, no way. And he's like, snort bass, blah, blah, blah. And they did like a dubstep rhythm. I was like, no way. I was like, it's so good. And they had the choreo too, where they were all like in like a V shape, like literally like I'm watching an Instagram reel but live. I was like, I was like, oh, who had the worst performance of GBB 2025? I feel like that's so mean because I feel I also this GBB, I don't know. For me, I felt the passion of everybody. Like everyone's like passion and hard work they put into their things. And yeah, not everybody executed, what they wanted perfectly, but through talking to them and meeting them, I really felt, the passion for beatboxing, which was really cool. And no, I'm not going to answer that question because I don't want to call people out because I feel bad and that's mean. Am I still jet lagged? Seems like you're having lunch at midnight. Yeah, I'm still jet lagged. Low-key, that limb was hilarious. Yeah, that was so funny. We need Stitch to join stream. What time is it for him? It's probably like 12 p.m. there. Hello, Den. Been watching you for a few years. Love my music. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Thoughts on tag teams? Also, someone asked about my thoughts on Max Skill. I think Max Skill was really good. I just think their blending wasn't the best, It's like sometimes Maxo was just like way louder than Skiller. And like, I felt like their beats were really like simple, like maybe in 2015, 2016 that would have worked. Like my biggest ick and pet peeve for tag teams when you had like one guy doing bass and then one guy doing like rap or melody or whatever. Like I think one of the beats where there was like and then Skiller was just like doing something, yeah. Thoughts on his pushing Miko Koloa and doing lip bass in his face, W the rage bait. Honestly, I don't care. Like, I mean, yeah, it's a battle. It's the whole no touching thing, and I guess River kind of popularized the no touching thing. But I've been touched in a battle before. Pause. But Bookie Blanco did that against me. And yeah, I think that one he did go a little too far, and obviously he knows that. I'm sorry, Bookie. I use this example a lot. It's just a good example, but nothing against you, Bookie. Bookie Blanco is one of the nicest guys. But yeah, it's just like I remember he pulled my shirt up and then like slapped the mic, on my stomach. And then I was like, okay, you know what? Like, I'm totally fine with that. Obviously it was just a battle. You were really excited. But I told him, like, there are select few beatboxers that I know that if you did that to them, they would literally start a fight on stage. They would, like sock you right in the face, for doing that. I want to get touched as well. Who said that? Wayne. Hey, yo, crazy sentence to join stream on. Information: Hiss is younger than Miko. Ah, that's it. Damn, you got touched by Bookie. Yeah, I did. I did get touched. But yes, I was. I'm pretty much done my notes of all ranting. Yeah, I pretty much said everything I wanted to say about the sound and battling. Someone's gonna clip that out of context, but that's a-okay. Imagine if Rage never dropped out. Yeah, would have been insane. Which beatboxer do you want to be touched by the most? Your mom. If I was battling you, Den, I would not mind getting touched. Okay. GBB talk to MMA moments. What is that? Am I eating chicken strips? I deep fried them myself. Also, guys, deep fry your food. It's very good for you. It's not good for you. But it's yummy. Has to be Osis while he performs Bin. Okay, Sonus obviously just would touch me. I don't know if you did already, but please tell us who was the worst smelling beatboxer. I'm not saying that. I'm gonna leave that up to you guys to decide. Then if I battled you, can I touch your lips? You're banned. Just joking. You're not banned. We've gotten Rage versus Mahiro. I heard Mahiro did really good also. I heard he did really good. Deep fry, you know what? Deep fried bananas. Do I think Sonus is GBB level? No. I'm sorry, Sonus. I remember Juilliard saying when he was battling Osis last year, Osis gave him a weird look because Juilliard's meat touched his leg. What is going on in the chat, guys? Didn't someone get deducted a point for touching their opponent? Was it his? Did they actually get deducted a point? Why did Osis change lyrics of Bin? I don't know. Maybe because there was kids in the crowd or something. Who's the best smelling? Who's the best smelling beatboxer? It's a good question. Thank you for the Space with the raid. Space G, guys. Also Space G. Shout out Space G. Exalos used a version of Space G bass in his limb, and it sounded really cool. Best smelling beatboxer though. Yeah, Space G. We were talking about, or I just got asked who was the best smelling beatboxer. I don't even remember. I think Wing probably smells good. Everyone has gone edgy in the chat. Battle energy though. Imagine Osis would have won if he did the original Bin lyrics. His basically pushed Colo really hard. Damn. Did I go to the GBB after parties days before competing? I think you mean after the competition. I did go to the after party. It was fun. I just got done with a wild horror Minecraft game. Big up, man. I remember hearing Scott Jackson mention touching during Fresh Tonic if there's a Mexico, but I didn't see anything. What is my favorite battle for solos? It's a good question. I would say favorite battle, Pac-Max versus Kaji and Wing versus... So the semifinals, both, and Wing versus Blackroll. Why was there no vibration? I'm sorry, guys. Vibration bass is so hard to do, and especially on stage, and especially on a GBB stage. Like, it's so hard to do. It probably wouldn't even if I did it perfectly, it wouldn't have, like, come out. And, you know... Who's the best tasting beatboxer? Your band. Osis versus Frosty at NUE best battle of all time. Changed my mind. I think it's a really entertaining, really funny battle. But I wouldn't take influence from that because so many people try to copy it and it ends up excuse me, ends up being the most whack battle trying to be funny Osis Frosty. Like, you're not Osis and Frosty, bro. Stick to beatboxing. That sounds so mean. I'm sorry. What is the weirdest reason someone has ever got into beatboxing? I don't know. Maybe through like Spencer X. Wing versus Black Roll was a legend battle. Yeah, Wing used his like battle strategy against him because I think Black Roll was talking about like crowd control and like it like see that one. I think that was like a multi-layered like battle move because you know Black Roll, his crowd control is very like spoon feed to the like literally it's like his crowd control is he tells the crowd what to do. You know, like dope to the left, dope to the right. Now everybody go down, right? GBB jump with me, right. And then he jumps and like he's literally telling the crowd. And then Wing doesn't need to tell the crowd what to do. He literally just goes. And then everyone's like going crazy, and he's like pointing at the crowd. He's like, "See control," and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, like that's a battle move right there. That's a battle move." GBB, clap your hands. I love Black Roll, but his lyrics are zero-dimensional. Yeah, Black Roll, like put all his skill points into just loudliness and cleanliness. But yeah, his lyrics are a bit iffy. Telling everyone to go down then jump is a pet peeve of mine. Yeah, I agree. It's like they're not really jumping anymore for you. You just told them what to do. If I battled one of them, I would have like kind of did maybe a counter or something like that. Not a counter, but like a battle move. Like, hey, look, I have crowd control too. Everybody go down. Now everybody jump. And do like the most mid beat ever. People are gonna be like, what the freak? Wing countered Black Roll perfectly because he showed him how to do. Yeah, you know what? You know that's actually a really good battle for beatboxers to get influenced by because there's multiple layers to the counter and the battle move. It's a skill issue if you have to force the crowd to make noise. Personally, if I was a judge, I would have scored down for improper. Sorry, I thought that said improver. For improper crowd control. I think that's probably what the judges did, and what ended up making them vote for Wing. It sucks because if Wing had the fourth round of the final, we would have heard dopamine fully. Yeah, but then Pac-Max had a dopamine counter. And yeah. Sonus, I disagree. I think is up there, but I might be biased because he used it against me. But I think his second round against me, did you guys hear that? That was Wing style. He was like whispering in the drums, and I was like, bro, this guy's. I'm getting kind of clapped right now, But I was like, this is awesome. Like this beat is so sick. Like, Wing has great battle instincts, but at the end of his rounds are always counterable by his opponents. Yes, they are counterable, right? I was gonna say something about like it's a counterable, like it's a very one-dimensional counter to because he always ends his like beats with like click roll, lip roll because those are like the biggest energy things that come out the most on stage. But yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. New Zealand Haka DMB buildup was crazy. Yeah. Most entertaining solo battle: Wing versus Black Roll and Pac-Max Kaji. Stitch talks about Codfish being super quiet for like 20 minutes straight. Is that true? Yeah, again, it's the whole thing with the compression and no limiter. I don't think Codfish is a quiet beatboxer, but I don't think he's a loud beatboxer either. So on the system, like you have to be putting the loud sounds just for you to come out, And Codfish, he isn't like a super loud beatboxer, but he's not like a quiet beatboxer. Like on a decent sound system, he'll sound really good. But Codfish, unfortunately on this sound system, it just sounds quiet. But I don't think Codfish is a a quiet beatboxer. Yeah. Round one, Dan, you won from me. Yeah, thank you, man. I really appreciate that. What's up, Runa? I'm getting clapped right. Yeah, that's literally that was like probably my thought in my head. Then I never noticed it, but from this angle, my lips look extra juicy. Thank you. I mean, appreciate that. I think I enjoyed Black Roll and Pac Max most this year. Pac Max did really good, and Black Roll. Black Roll is just Black Roll. Octo with the 23-month sub. Thank you. This guy's always subbing, guys. Also, big up Octo. It's my Vancouver beatbox champ. My round one was one of the best rounds in the competition. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Anybody from this year I wanted to battle? Wing. I pretty much got like the battle I wanted. Maybe Napalm, because he's always fun to battle. And Codfish, because he's the goat, one of the goats. My rounds were the best of the comp. Thank you so much. Thoughts on the sound system this year? How many people here did not hear the sound? But J Beatbox, I kind of did a whole rant about the sound like earlier in the stream. So yeah, if you want to go back there and do that, then go ahead. But basically, for a TLDR, if you don't want to go back and listen to it, I basically talk about why this the sound. What did you even ask? Hold on, I'm like yapping. The sound system this year, it was decent, but it was still very dry sounding. And that can be solved by adding, a little bit of compression and limiting to the sound. That's it. But they're not doing that because they want to have an even playing field for beatboxers, and I disagree with that. I basically said how that doesn't progress the beatbox community, and how having good sound doesn't put loud beatboxers at a disadvantage. Anyways. What is the best food I got in Japan? Oh, they were all really good. Every one of my round was super good. I really love my beatbox. Thank you. What is my best bout? What is that? My bad, I'll go back. You're good, man. But basically, yeah, that's what I was talking about. Your pitching was amazing, like the perfection. Thank you. That was just a result of just doing a lot of performances this year and just practicing singing on stage, because singing on stage is something completely different. We get it. We see the veins. I was kind of singing too. I was like, dang, my hands look kind of veiny right now. But like it's like you like, because my phone, my camera's like right there, so it's just there. I did not see your OWC wildcard. Space G. If I had a round to listen to and remember in the whole competition, it would be yours, man. Thank you, man. My cam is delayed. Yeah, I know it's delayed because my webcam up here doesn't work anymore, so I have to use my phone camera, and it's delayed. So it's clapped. I'm sorry, guys. It wouldn't be a dense stream if it wasn't clapped. Like, look at this. I even have like my aspect ratio doesn't even fit the screen. How was the air conditioning on the stage? Dilo said it was dry in his showcase. I feel like the air is always dry anytime you get up on stage. Yeah, I said this in the beginning of the stream, but like every time you go on stage, if you're even a little bit nervous, you are gonna get dry mouth, And yeah, the dry air kind of does. How do I say it? It does affect it a little bit, but this year they actually tried their best to make the air not as dry as possible, because I think last time they had like smoke machines going off, which made the air super dry. But this year they were actually like, they were able to turn down the smoke machines, which was, helpful. and yeah. And also, the air wasn't that dry in this venue, so it literally is just like a skill issue with like dry mouth. Like, because I get really bad dry mouth, so I literally had to compose my limb and make certain spots where I literally go like build up, and then swallow, and then go back into the drop. That way, so I wouldn't just get dry mouth towards the end. And I was already getting dry mouth a little bit towards the end, but I like really pushed through and made sure I just like focused on trying to get the sounds out. When do you think the vids are gonna come out? I estimated 17 of. Oh, that's not gonna be. I have to make a song for my battle against Wing that's gonna come out. Was the food in Japan life changing? No, it wasn't. It was really good. It's a lot cheaper than the food here, but it wasn't life changing. Melon pan, bro. That was the most overrated food I've eaten in Japan, bro. Like I bought it just like, or actually I was with Steady Enosis and we bought it just to try it, and I ate it. I was like, oh, it's like bread with like a bit of melon. That's about it. Like, like there's nothing more to it. It's not like some crazy like, oh, and then you have this ratatouille moment of like melons and like bread flying around. No, none of that. And I also thought that there was like a melon cream filling inside. It wasn't. It was just a dry sadness, you know. I was like, oh, like it wasn't. It didn't look sad though. It had a really nice shape. It was like, you know, but yeah, I got baited so hard. Will I be making a GBB 2026 wildcard? Undecided yet. Did I see Tamara the Carrier elimination? I did actually see it. How are the showcases? Showcases were good. I didn't watch all of them. The highlight showcase for me was the D'Lo showcase. That D'Lo showcase kind of made me fall in love with D'Lo's style again. I think he's going back to like, you know, the 2018 style, and he's so good at beat rhyming. Like he'll say a really long lyric and he'll fit like the drums and bass and all in there, like, and it sounds so cool. Do I get any free GBB merch for being there? I did actually get a shirt, yeah, which is nice. How is the chains? Is that the Mahiro routine? Because I didn't hear that, unfortunately, in the crowd. We got the yearly Japanese food rant. Pac-Max glazing on melon pan. Yeah, he is. He is glazing. It's just Pac-Mac's favorite. Yeah, it's an L favorite. Den said it was dry sadness. Someone lick his melons. It wasn't like super dry, but it was drier than I anticipated it being. Who did I think win finals? Pac-Max by just this much. Super close battle. But I could see anyone giving it to anyone. But in my opinion, I think Pac-Max got a little bit. Melon cream with hit. The Timber the Carrier Elim? I actually don't remember it entirely, unfortunately. The tag Elims, unfortunately, I think the sound was just really poor. So a lot of things didn't come out. And the only thing that sounded somewhat decent was Hiss and Wing, but that's just because their blending was so good. But even then, it like, you know, their skill could only take them so far. Also, to add to like that thing is like, you know, with this raw sound, like, you know, saying that, oh, this is fair, it's like you're just putting a handicap on, you know. It's like, yep, handicap is, you know, unfortunately all sounds that are not below this hertz and that are not below this, or that are not above this decibel of volume, I'm sorry, you can't use any of those sounds. That's the handicap, because they're not going to come out on the stage, you know. What the heck? Yeah, I don't know what I was talking about, but 7-Eleven egg sandwiches are kind of nuts, though. I actually never tried those. Maybe I should try that next time I'm in Japan. Pac-Max versus Wing depends on the day. Yesterday I had Pac-Max winning, and today I have Wing winning. Yeah, like, it was very, very close. But in the moment when I was there live, yeah. D'Lo sounded really good in the live stream, waiting for the official release with the mastered sound. Yeah, D'Lo sounded amazing. And I think he noticed that his, like that sound was like coming out a lot more, so he was like using that a lot, even his build up. K Blossom with the raid. Dark Blossom, thank you for the raid. What is up, Raiders? We're just talking about GBB and answering some questions. But yeah, you gotta know your DBs. True. But yeah, like, wouldn't you not want to nerf everybody and put a handicap and then actually make it fair, right? Like, like, I'm gonna say this again, having compressed sound and nice wet sound versus dry sound, it literally does not make quiet beatboxers as loud as the loud beatboxers. Maybe like volume wise, but like you can still hear it in their beatboxing how much more attack they're giving it in, into their beatboxing. You can hear that. Like, if you're a judge, you should be able to hear that. Den versus Scott Jackson, who wins? Scott Jackson. If we're talking about in a boxing fight. It's like, Den happy beat? No, F the happy beat. Give me the sad beat. Yeah, I didn't even realize that D-Lo was showcasing for that long. Like, that's how good it was. It did not feel like 40 minutes. It felt like 20 minutes. Did I judge in the Philippine Beat Blast Champs? I think I did. I do check Space G. I do check Twitch. What do you mean? I have both chats that over here I'm looking at. I look at both chats. Dark Blossom is my girlfriend. I convinced her to raid you. Well, thank you, man. And big up. Give Dan the dry sadness melon pan beat. I showed D-Lo the swag beat, which I made. It's like swag. Swag. That's the swag beat. When are the reactions? What do you mean? What are the reactions? What is there to react to? What do you mean? F the happy beat. It's actually so cool. Nah, it's whack. I said that. Yeah. No, but big up happy beat, I guess. Many people who went to GBB get sick. Am I good? Thank you for asking. I am okay because I had a lot of vitamins. I can't find them, but I had a lot of vitamins in Japan, and because I really wanted to make sure, I wasn't getting sick. And I know you're like beatboxing from the same mic as everybody, so it's gross, and you're sharing germs, so you got to make sure your health is on point. How do I think codfish? How do you think codfish? Codfish is great. Who do you think is the best Filipino beatboxer right now? That's a good question. I say like me, Vino, Coolest? He's part Filipino. I don't know. I'm trying to think of other Filipino beatboxers. Dan, you should make a song about melon. Or at least a diss track about melon fan. Oh my gosh. This GBB is your best elimination so far. Keep improving that. Thank you, man. Really appreciate that. How was 7 to Smoke? Any memorable moments? Yeah, Nero was cracked. This dude, I just came out of nowhere, and then I'm just listening to it, and he like claps River. I'm like, what is this guy? Like, this guy's crazy. Swag beat is sick. No, thank you. What was the most inspiring moment of the trip? Oh, I literally just said it on the stream. There was like something that was very... Oh, no, I didn't say like moment, but I just said overall, the trip was very inspiring. I think the Beatbox House and Orbit were so inspiring to me. The loops, Martin Benatti was very inspiring. And then just listening to everybody's elimination this year was very inspiring. I know I just gave you like not one moment, but like a lot of moments. But that for me, yeah. Like half of the people who was in the venue is sick now. Yeah, just fix up your immune system. Yeah, it happens. Like you're just tired and you're around a bunch of people. I'm surprised they ranked Max that low. I think he did pretty good. It's just I think everyone in like that middle ranked section, like Max, Exalos, Pono, Steady, Tropical Stitch, that was kind of like. Oh, excuse me, I'm getting tired. But I think that was like their energy was like all over the place. Yeah, he beat River narrow. Like that, he was crazy at Seven to Smoke. What is my best elimination? I think this one right now this year. This year, Runa is my best eliminate. Clip the mic right now. I mean, if I just like double cup this and then do a really loud sound, it's gonna clip. But I'm not gonna clip my mic because I don't want to clip my mic. Okay, gotta give that. Oh my gosh, bro, you stayed for an extra hour. I've got a lecture at 9 a.m. 7 a.m. Okay, Trolak, thank you. Dude, I saw you did a show with the Philharmonic. That is so sick. I did do a Philharmonic. That's crazy. But you know that. But thank you, man. I did do a show with the Philharmonic. I opened for them, like literally like a couple weeks before GBB. Did I watch Producer? I did not, unfortunately, watch Producer. Drake of Beatbox. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that because I hope I got a bunch of the good things from Drake. All the things from Drake except for like the kids. But Saijo mistake again. Yeah, it was really unfortunate. The best beatboxer is Napalm. Even though he already has a title, he keeps challenging himself while others are just hiding. That is very true. Napalm is a guy who just like comes back to the scene consistently and is just like pushing the scene, which I think is really cool. Can you do an arpeggio fast? I don't know. I'm not the best with arpeggios, so no. Diddling. Excuse me. Dan, if you can nail Sensations as an elimination next year, I'm getting first place for him. I'm not. Even if I get it perfect, perform it perfectly, just with what sounds I'm using in Sensations, the drops are not going to hit hard on the raw audio, mix that everybody has to be using because of the whole fairness thing. It's just not going to sound good. Like, maybe if I switch like the take me, like, first of all, there's two things, like the nasal inward bass, unless I'm Inertia or remix and do, which I'm not the best at, and I don't think it sounds as good, that's not going to come out of mic though. Second thing is I'm using the poo-poo kick, right? Instead of the so I have to sidechain it, which is a lot harder, But yeah, there you go. Look, I have to literally dump. Like, if I had to do, like, that's why when I did Moments I had against Wing, I had to do a completely different beat because if I did, like, that was not gonna come out on mic. No matter how perfectly mic technique I did, it would not come out just because of the sounds I'm using. I'm limited to using these bigger sounds, only open mouth inward bass, right? Because of the more, yeah. Are you get Japanese girlfriend or not? No, I don't have my girlfriend is not Japanese. Or no, well, okay. What I mean to say is, I don't want a Japanese girlfriend or a girlfriend because I already have a girlfriend. Yeah. Nero is evolving so much this year. That's facts. I've seen his reels, but holy moly, Dice is insane solo beatboxer. True. What's your opinion on Black Roll qualifying? I didn't like it. I mean, yeah, his style isn't like the most pleasant to listen to, and you can't really replay it that often. But I think Black Roll just, I mean, he did play to his strengths. The bet, like he plays his strengths one of the best. You know, he's like loud and clean, and like all 99% of the time he's loud and clean and very powerful, and he did just that in like 4 minutes of that. So I guess that's like the big part, and I do think he deserved top 8. IRL sidechaining is crazy. Yeah, like you have to sidechain it. 2-1-2. I did not watch Blue Jays versus Dodgers, unfortunately. I'm not that into baseball, but I know like it's kind of a big deal right now in Toronto. Chris is watching this with a gun cocked, depending on what you say next about the Japanese girlfriend. Don't fumble. True. This year you have 90% of successing from avoiding false notes with all your clean beats. Your elim is crazy. Thank you, man. Yeah, I really, for me, that was like the hardest thing that I worked on, was just like, you know, my singing and pitching things. And the rest of the, I guess, improvements that you've heard on stage, like, you know, like I got better live, was literally just me changing like how I do certain sounds, you know, like I told you, instead of like doing like I just do and then open mouth, like, and then right after the so it's like ba, right? So it all comes out on mic. And then yeah, just like simplifying, dumbing down my beats so that it comes out on mic. And then also just changing mic technique. Like that's something I don't really need to work on. You just switch up your mic technique. Yeah, I was doing like the River Tech mic technique with the pinky under like this. And then lastly, I just try to not move as much on stage, because I noticed before, like when I was performing, I'd like perform and I'm like moving way too much, like, and by the time I get to like the last 2 minutes of the elim, never thought that I love, and I'm like already tired, you know, because I'm moving too much. So I just, this year I was like, okay, let me just aura farm on stage and then just like do my beats. But yeah. Dan, are you Filipino? I am Filipino. Yes, I am. Any adjustment in basic sounds? Yeah. So I told you, like with the kick, I don't do that like anywhere, because that sounds super weak on the system. Like especially when I do like beats, like that's why I feel it still. I didn't do because the main drop would not hit, because it's like it's nasal and like it's coming through my nose, and I'm doing the, you know, that kick. It needs to be like but still it wouldn't come out through them. So I had to change it up to like the right, change it to like open mouth, all, you know, just change my sounds to do that, you know. I didn't really work on my drums. Like I could always do, it's just that I found like my inward bass, like that just sounds cleaner like in the inward bass department. But obviously on like that sound system, the cleanliness is not gonna, you know, it's not gonna take me so far. I live in Toronto, not Vancouver. No, I don't loop. But you know what I did loop is this. Sounds exactly the same, don't you think? Have I considered using more complex routines in limbs like Twisted Fate? No, because so I'm gonna say this again. Obviously to the people who didn't hear this before, but yeah, again, this whole raw sound, no compression, no limiting, it limits beatboxers to what sounds they can use. I legit can't, even if I did that perfectly. Because it's coming through my nose, I have to super double cup it, and even if I like super double cup it, it's not gonna come out because I'm doing instead of right. and then I have to do like I simply just can't do all of that at the same time, like open mouth, like, you know, I have to like I'd have to like switch up the routine and maybe like do like a like I'd probably keep the intro the same, you know, because like the intro doesn't need to be loud, like you're afraid of like I'll probably do like you're afraid of like and then change like a bunch of things to like literally click rolls and lip rolls so that it works better on the stage, so it sounds like I'm more powerful, right? Yeah. Why not try a lip roll click for louder volume? Because on a super big stage like GBB, sometimes the subs put out more volume than actual volume, if that makes sense. So like a really loud, right? A really loud lip roll click, like even if I put so much energy into that, that doesn't have as much subs as like a, you know, and like especially it's like such low frequencies, they like echo out in the entire room a lot more, and they sound louder. That's why a lot of people are like, Wings sounds so loud. He just knows how to like, he just knows the right frequencies to be hitting. Like he hits like those like those click rolls, and you know it's like, and like he's doing it perfectly where it's like, it's similar to me like with like my hollow clop sound. Like when I do like the hollow clap in like moments I had, like I'm hitting a, like, you know, like a sweet spot so it sounds really loud. I'm not going like, because it doesn't work because there's like hella compression on my mic. But like in a live setting, like it sounds way louder than like, it's just the frequencies that you're choosing to, and the same thing with like the like it's so mid sharp heavy that just cuts through, versus like, you know, I mean, okay, that too I guess is really subby because Tropical's Inward was kind of subby in Inertia remix. Anyways, what kind of process do I have on this mic for my stream? It's just compression and EQ on my Mark 1 loop station. Couldn't identify which sounds of the intro are from which wildcards. I only heard Ice and Wing and Orbit. I think that synth in the beginning is like part of Vought's wildcard maybe, and then the is me. I don't know what that. I think maybe that's Black Roll. And they probably took a lip roll from like Pac Max or me or someone. I don't know. Is Into the Den 3 in the works? I don't know about calling it Into the Den 3, but I have a beatbox song that is like Into the Den 3 that is in the works. How do you have such a nice EQ for both beatboxing and talking? I have two separate EQs. I don't know. I just have the basic compression and EQ thing on my loop station. Understanding frequency is essential as a beatboxer these days. Yeah, like learning that. Like also, I think too that like, you know, this kind of differentiates like the GBB stage versus like, you know, a smaller battle. Like, you know, like if you did like on like a really small battle, that wouldn't hit as hard, you know, because like the subs are smaller, and yeah, sure, it would be kind of subby, but it's just like it favors more of like it's just for that environment. I guess it's a different kind of beatboxing that you need to deliver to the audience versus on a GBB stage where like it's massive stage, ginormous subs, you just hit like one, right? I don't even need to try like on that lip roll, and it's just so loud, you know. You want to watch my loop track? Well, the only one I have right now is this one. But if you mean like looping, I suck at looping. Did Pac-Max burn Melon Pan on this GBB stage? I probably did. That would be like such a him thing to do. I legit look like an older version of my friend here in the Philippines. Yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of Filipinos look very similar. I think I'm gonna end the stream soon, guys, because I think I pretty much talked about everything I need to talk about. But if you guys have any last minute questions, feel free to ask. Cause I have been awake for like oh, excuse me. I've been awake for like 21 hours now. I'm like really jet lagged, so I tried to stay up so that, you know, I'm gonna be sleeping at a normal time. I should make a loop wild card. I feel like I have to like learn. I think learning takes so long, and then I'd have to like, you know, compose it. But I mean, I think I would give it a try. Being loud, one note melody, lip oscillation, and generic drop being is better than being creative, inventor, popularizing cool new original sounds, flows, and aura equals the stagnation of GBB solos. And yeah, like again, there's nothing wrong with like this loud style. And then I'm gonna go back to it again. It's just like the raw sound promotes the more loud one note melody, lip oscillation, generic drop type beatboxers. That was a mouthful, right? So yeah. It was so hard to find Melon Pan near the venue. I went 3 convenience stores and they were all sold out. The one near the competitor's hotel, there was one. That's where I bought it. Do you think Remix should have qualified? Not really, but maybe like a little chance, because like he was still really solid. It's just that he was so loud like for all 4 minutes. It was kind of like what Wally did, you know, in 2023. He was like, you know, like starting off super strong. Like, how do you start off your beat with the fattest lip rolls, and then I think Remix did the same thing where he like started off with a really big lip roll, you know, and it's hard to go up from there. I joined late, but who impressed me the most? Nero. He's a Japanese beatboxer. He joined the Seven to Smoke. He's just some guy who just spawned out of nowhere, and then he ended up beating River in a battle, which is crazy. Just came back to the stream. Did you talk about his and Wing yet? I think they should have won. I did talk to them. I did talk about them. But yeah, I agree. I think they should have won because just to summarize what I said, I just think that their blending was way better, and I think blending is so important in a tag team. Yeah, and I think also too the last beat they did against Max Skill, like Max Skill had like an okay like whatever like reggaeton singing thing Skiller was trying to do, but then Hiss and Wayne come out with like this like I was like, that was the most boss gangster beat I've ever. I was like going crazy in the crowd. I was like, bro, I was like, GG, they won, and then they didn't win. I was like, okay, rigged. But yeah, what's up, Pono? It's my guy. Those guys big up Pono. Go check him out. Generic lip oscillation melodies got to be one of my least favorite trends these days. It's like GBB clap. Right? Whatever the meta is nowadays. Like spit everywhere with that. Fair enough, there was no build-up in terms of hype and volume since he came with the power lip full lip rolls. Yes. Exactly. What has your experience been with making genuine friends in the beatbox scene? Do you find people are pretty genuine and kind at live events? I think most of the beatbox community is pretty genuine and pretty, how do I say it, very approachable. There are a select few beatboxers who are not as approachable, and I find they're more cliquey. And I try to be like, you know, as nice to everyone, no matter who you are. You know, if you're like a guy who's just started beatboxing versus, you know, if you're D-Lo, right? I think you should just treat everyone equally. But they're, you know, yeah. But I think overall the beatbox community is nice. Also, again, I said this before. The everyone, if you're listening from Japan and you came to GBB, like, thank you. All you guys are so wholesome and so kind and so nice, very hospitable and welcoming. So big up, thank you so much. Like, you make the GBB trip to Japan worth it every time. Also, shout out. There was some Japanese guy who gave me these like cookies that were like honey butter cracker cookie thingies, and they were really good. I actually liked them, and I'm not like a snack person, but that was like really good. So if you're watching this and you know who you are, like, thank you. Dan, can you understand Tagalog or Bisaya? Tagalog. I don't understand. I can't understand Bisaya, but I can understand Tagalog. Most impressive performer across all formats was Martin Benetti. True. Rahul was like, bro, the tag team meta is so cooked. Everyone has a harmony intro. Yeah, but sometimes the harmony intro is not as good. You know? Yeah, like, I'll give you as a thing to close off, you know, something I've learned between 2023 and 2024. Sorry, 2024 and 2025. I don't know what I was thinking. Okay, maybe because I was thinking, you know, the sound at GBB 2023 was like one of the best sounds I've ever heard in my life. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to let the sound system carry me, and I'm going to do my thing. You know, I do my limb. Let me like I know you hate it, I can't fake it. Oh, when I say I love you, babe, you know I meant it, right? And then I go into my I'm falling for you, and then my last drop. That was like the worst decision I could for the last drop. I'm already gassed out and tired, and then I have to end up doing all nasal, all inward, all poo poo kicks, and then on the driest sound system ever. Like, yeah. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna make my limb, so even if the sound system is bad, it's gonna sound good, you know. And it was dumbed down, but you know, I was just playing to the meta, like literally like adding. That was like just me learning from like, I don't know, Maxo, and just putting a loud sound in there. I always saw beatbox GBB as a competition where beatboxers can really showcase their style, but this raw sound thing is promoting people to beatbox a certain way, then yeah, it's just not good for the scene. Facts, Nariko. Facts. Let me say that again, because I butchered reading that because I'm so slow. I always saw GBB as a competition where beatboxers can really showcase their style. Let me add also to that, and this is GBB, the biggest beatboxing stage in the world. So you would expect the sound to be somewhat decent. Not even decent. You would expect it to be the best, right? In the world, right? But yeah, if this raw sound thing is promoting people to beatbox in a certain way, then yeah, it's just not good for the scene and the community. I agree 100%. Do I know when my next live event will be? And do you want to keep competing now that you've achieved my goal of passing Lim the GBB? I don't know yet. I don't know. But you can join the Discord server and be updated. Self-promo. Not a snack person, says the absolute snack. Thank you, bro. Loop carried this year. I enjoyed Loop way more than Souls because it feels like I was listening to the same tracks I've heard before. Apart from a select few. I understand that. Just want to say I had a great time with you at the most quietest bar line in my entire life. It was also quite long. It was surprising how long it was. I think day one Judge Showcase really made it clear that there's levels to this. Was that Soso? Who was the day one Judge Showcase? Give this man a true, for real. Oh my gosh, the Discord command doesn't even work. I'm sorry. I think I've said I'm gonna fix the Discord command like 20 times now. I still haven't fixed it. Bro, you said you'd give it a try to my sound. Still waiting. Oh, the bro, you gotta put it in the Discord again, or DM me. I didn't know I have a Discord server. Let me put the link. Where the heck's the link? I'm gonna put the link here. Whoa. I'm watching my own stream. Let me put the Discord link. Here, if you guys want to join the Discord, bam, there it is. Dan, what can you say amongst the Pinoy beatboxers right now? Big up Philippines. I was with I met up with a couple beatboxers from the Philippine Beatbox Unity last year when I was in the Philippines. Super nice group of people, and I think the Philippines has potential to grow, into one of the bigger beatbox communities. But yeah, I'm happy to represent Filipinos on the GBB stage. That's what I have to say, Aaron. How old are you and how long have you been beatboxing? I am 24, and I've been beatboxing for almost 10 years. So what is the alternative to raw sound? Everyone would potentially sound better if the sound engineers mixed to each artist individually, but that doesn't sound fair from a competition standpoint. The alternative to raw sound. Okay, would you rather the sound to sound like this? Or this. Like, okay, maybe you have EQ in there, okay? So I put some EQ on my mic. Right? But no, look how dry it sounds without the compression. Obviously, I'm using this mic and there's like hella compression just so it sounds really nice on stream. But on a live, and I guess on stream this is like really hard to tell because it does sound like I'm way louder. Obviously, the versus this. But literally, we have examples of having just compression and EQ and limiters, on the line, on the mic. We've had examples where you can still feel the loudness of beatboxers. You're still all playing in the same playing field, and loud beatboxers still sound loud. It's still fair. It's just a fact. Julard sounded louder than everybody in 2023, and the sound was amazing. Like, even Marvelous sounded good, and his mic technique was super poor. I mean, okay, he was missing subs because of his, like, poor mic technique, right? But, like, you still felt like, like Wand sounded really good, Serpent sounded really good. Like, they would have sounded they would have been so outshadowed by, like, Lency's and Julard's power if, it was, like, the more raw mix, right? But no, they actually stood a chance because it was, it was an even playing field. But, still their power did win at the end. But, like that just proves the point. Like, I'm not saying like, oh, power is a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. If you're loud, it's good. Also, if you're quiet, you need to work on your volume as well. Like, you can't just be like super quiet and then fully rely on the sound system to carry you, yeah. Gimbal right now has a really great potential. Yes, he does. I remember listening to this guy in a competition, and yeah, you joined from the description. Oh, okay, yeah, guys. I guess the link wasn't working if I put in the chat, but in the YouTube live stream on my YouTube channel, Dan Beatbox, you can join the Discord. There's a link in the description. Yo, D Low. What is good? You smashed it in Tokyo. Excited to see what's next from you. Good to see you. Hit a swaggy. All right, I'll hit a swag beat for you. Wait. Swag. Swag. Swag beat for you, Mr. D Low. They call me D Low, but my D is low. But yeah, big up to D Low. Then how did you say about the solo champion? I guess Wing will be champ. GG's to France. A lot of champ is in France. I guess give some chance to Wing, my opinion. I personally thought Pac-Max won by like that much. I think it was really close. Could have gone to either or. But yeah. Swaggy, thank you, sir. I try my best to be as swaggy as possible. Swag. Why is my pitching so bad today? It's because I'm eating chicken fingers, man. Making me want to do Happy Beat. Oh, I mean, you know what? You're right. It's making you happy. Happy Beat is a happy beat. It's Happy Beat. The finals was a toss-up, for real. Okay, it is 2 hours. We just literally, when I hit that lip bass, my stream hit 2 hours and 40 minutes. I feel like we're getting into the Den Yap territory where I'm just yapping. And I feel like I've said like all my points that I wanted to say. And I said it in the most Den fashion, where it was the most unorganized way possible, where if you really want to understand it, you have to watch the entire stream, unfortunately. But you know, for like the short attention spanners, because I have really short attention span, you can probably just watch it on 2x speed, or you know, maybe hopefully this gets enough views where somebody makes like timestamps and then you can like really like see. Yeah, anyways, how is the taco rap? I love the taco rap. He's got bars. It was a little hard to hear his bars. I think he could have just like cupped the mic, because all the beatboxers were doing that and it would have sounded fine. But yeah, get ready for the bottle. Yeah, we'll see. This guy's been doing his own thing, and that's okay. Anyways, okay, I think I'm gonna end the stream there. It's already been 2 hours 41 minutes. But yeah, thank you for like I had consistently 100 viewers on the stream. Thank you so much. And I want to close off. I did mention this in the middle of the stream, but I'm going to close off this stream by saying this year's GBB was awesome. Okay. I think all the categories were great. You know, I unfortunately I didn't see everything live because I was backstage for a good portion of the event. But I will say that this GBB, compared to last year's GBB, I've gotten so much more inspiration from this GBB. You know, I felt the passion in every single one of the beatboxers and artists that came there, regardless of how they executed their material on stage. But I just felt the passion, like just even talking to them, and you know, also I loved Japan too. Japan's a beautiful place. Tokyo is beautiful. You know, I got to explore around there. The Tokyo, Japan community, super great, super nice, super awesome. Look at that. Den ending off a stream wholesome. Isn't that crazy? And that's also why am I speaking to myself in the third person? It's a little weird. But anyways, I am going to head to bed. Also, did you guys notice, one last thing, that my stream intro song is my GBB Elim. I just stole the lyrics from that. It's like, I've been waiting for you all my life. I've been looking for you all this time. And I just slowed it down and I changed the key. 'Cause I've been waiting for you all my life. Anyways. How did I not notice that? Yeah. Hope Corden. Oh, thank you. We are waiting for you anytime. Oh, thank you so much to the Japanese community. Anyways, I'm actually going to end the stream now. Look how like. So I'm pretty sure when people are saying it's lagging, like the audio is not laggy, but like the camera is. Like delay. There's delay. Anyways. Yes, sir, we noticed. I know. Okay. Oh, thank you guys, because you knew if you know I would call you out for saying that. Hey man, your camera's bugging, and then I'd ban you forever. Just joking. 25k channel points, and I can't even remember the stupid hamster. I am a knower. Or are we talking about the intro song? Anyways. I'm going to end the stream. Enjoy the outro. You missed Dilo joining, man. You're good, bro. It's fine. It was 2 messages. You'll live. Okay. Peace out, guys. Thank you for excuse me. Thank you for joining the stream. And I'll see you next time. Join the Discord to get updated on the things. Like the stream if you liked it. You don't need to like it if you don't want to. Being a viewer is totally fine. Leave a hate comment, leave a love comment, leave a normal comment. Anything is good. Boom ba da ba da bam ba ba la ba doom. Yeah, let me end it off one more time with a GBB intro. And now we're signing out.
Thank you.